again reimpose the protected area permit in the state of Nagaland. Now, the answer shows that there is a circular by the government of India uh, saying that when there is a growing security concerns in the border areas, the prohibited area permit may be reimposed. I think that is they have not produced the whole contents of the circular, but I think that is the whole meaning of this circular. Now, my question is, when we have the peace process, the ongoing peace process going on with the Naga national workers and the government of India, which the government of India has officially recognized Naga political issue as a political issue, not a law and order issue. Then, what is the necessity of reimposing this protected area permit? I want more clarification from the Honorable Chief Minister on this issue. Second, the government of India keep imposing the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, despite of the fact that I'm repeating at the risk of repeating again, that they have engaged with our Naga national workers for a political talk, and the peace process is on. So there is a contradiction in the approach of the government of India, Speaker sir. This is what I'm concerned. Now, when even in the initial part of the Naga movement, the Christian missionaries, including the journalists, were restricted by the government of India in reporting what is happening in this part of the world, in the Naga homeland, where lots of atrocities took place. But the foreign journalists were disallowed. They were restricted out of this orders like protected area permit. Those days they call it prohibited area permit. And also the Christian missionaries. I would like to convey through your speaker, sir, to the government of India that there is no threat as far as even the Christian missionaries are concerned. Now, instead of Christian missionaries coming from abroad, Nagas are sending missionaries outside. There is the other way around. So therefore, they should not feel threatened, and our citizens, Nagas, cannot be treated like this. So these are a few concerns I have, and I have linked the question whether it is related to the free movement regime, which we have debated yesterday during the question hour. It is reflected in the list of business today that the Leader of the House will make a statement. I'm very pleased with that. But we have to adopt a very strong resolution. Well, the answer is that it is not related to the reimposition of BAP, is not related to the FMR, scrapping of the FMR. In fact, logically speaking, I'm happy because in a sense, the government of India has recognized that there is a Naga family outside the so-called international boundary. Because this BAP is for the foreign nationals. According to this answer, I'm just replying according to that. Elaborating the answer which is given. So this means to say that government of India has officially recognized that there is a Naga, even within India also, we have been divided into various states, and across the border in Burma, there is also a Naga. This is an official recognition. We will have to interpret that way. So I have these few questions apart from expressing my concern. Thank you very much.
I understand the anxiety of the questioner, and what he has pointed out is a matter of concern. And as he had already explained, why it is reimposed, it is mainly due to security concern, because though dialogue is going on and framework agreement signed way back in August 3rd, 2015, and agreed position in 2017. Solution is not coming about. And we don't know who is reporting to the ministry. maybe their own agency, or even the Nagas are so thoroughly divided that our own people are giving reports. So, Government of India is concerned, and that is why, though, even if peace process is going on, these were reimposed. As I had mentioned, I had taken up in a NEC meeting in Agartala on the 21st December 2024. I raised these issues because on the 6th, the Government of India, in the cabinet meeting on the 6th, they had decided, and this cabinet memo was circulated on 7th. Then the actual communication was given on 17th December. But it did not reach Nagaland. Officially, we understood, that's why I raised. But I'm told that on 17th December it has been notified. But we received only on 24th a new order. So there will be some reporting, facts or otherwise, and we are aware that even missionaries or even foreigners who have come to Nagaland, we learned that there were questions, and even people who made it Nagas and coming, there were also questions. So, since I'm going to give a statement, I would not like to go into detail, but as far as Government of India is concerned, till Naga political issue is resolved, this Armed Forces Special Power Act, ASPA, may continue. Every 3 months, every 6 months, Government of India used to write to us whether it should be extended or not. We always reply that it should not be. Situation is conducive, ceasefire is there, political dialogue is going on, but still it is we have no control over them, and so they always extend this ASPA. So I feel that matter of concern, and in this also all involved together with FMR, Free Movement Regime. And therefore, in my statement, I will be making some proposals. So let the House decide how to go about. Thank you.
Very diplomatically replied. I don't want to go further. But when we have let us say the highest number of attendees in the last concluded 25th anniversary of the Hornbill Festival, which is already in the report, 50,000 plus local domestic tourists and 2,000, little close to 3,000 foreign tourists. Then what kind of security concern the Government of India is talking? There is tangible peace. It's visible. I think if we are treated at this level, it is not fair. And therefore I would like to register our resentment that this has to be scrapped, the protected area permit. I think these are a very extreme step being taken by the Government of India. And therefore, this House must convey our resentment, and I hope our Leader of the House, the Honorable CM, will incorporate the sense of this House in his statement. With that, I am satisfied. Thank you.
this issue, it came out in the paper, and I learned that this was not brought to the notice of the government, because if any land is to be given to somebody, other department or private, it follows all the procedures. That no objection certificate from the department or the procedures that is recommendation of the area, and then when papers are in order, it usually come to state level acquisition authority. This allotment, SLA, which is chaired by Chief Minister. Therefore, it is not being brought to our notice. And I'm sure there is some procedural lapses. Maybe at the ground level, the colony people or the departments might have made their own convenient adjustments. But government will look into it. Thank you.
My question on this particular matter is because I have a few concerns. When Nelson Mandela was retiring from presidency, you are aware, Speaker, sir, I can see from your smile. What he said, I will be, in a few months, I will be sitting next to the road, saying, please help, unemployed, no money. I don't know how to express the way he expressed, but it's very interesting. New life. This is what he was telling the parliament when he was retiring, and also proposing for the enhancement of old age pension. Well, I'm aware of the efficiency of the department, the way they function. As far as the handling of this issue is concerned. If you see the generational shift, Speaker, sir, the greatest generation were the one who were born sometime in 1902, 1901 to 1927. Now let us come back to the silent generation, people who were born in 1928, 1945. Since this is the last question, please give me some more time. We have no more question left. Then there was a generation called the baby boom generation. Those who were born sometime in 1946 to 1964. Then the Generation X, the 1965, 1980. Then after that, the millennial, who were born sometime in 1981 to 1996. Then after that, the Generation Z, 1997, 2010 born. Then after that, Generation Alpha, 2010, 2024 born. Then now the generation from 2025 to 39 will be called Generation Alpha, Generation Beta. So this is how it is being categorized. If you see the life chain of how we have been taking care of our parents, our grandparents, those who were born sometime from 1901 to, let us say, 1980, were a generation who really cares for their parents and for their grandparents, grandfather, grandmother, great-great-grandfather and all. But you come back from generation millennial, let us stay from millennial, or Generation Z, the modern technology, so many facilities have come in. That also, of course, eased a lot of our living standard. But it also drives our people away from the close proximity association with our parents as well as our grandparents and the great grandparents. So if you see the present generation, now till my generation and your generation, the love for our parents is to a great extent maximum. But from the next generation, from the generation the Z, generation Alpha, the generation Beta, these people, they are now born with a mobile computer in their hand, and they forget about their parents, even their siblings, their own brothers and sisters. So we have to have a policy where we care for our parents as well as for our grandparents. Now, when I asked the question about the old age pension, the government scheme at the moment is 60 years and above are considered within the category of old age people. But I think 60 years is, of course, is the government of India policy. We cannot change it promptly. I can understand that. But I think state, what I would like to suggest to the government is, we should also have our own policy. In Nagaland context, the life expectancy at the moment is 79.9 years for female, 71.5 for male. That is the life expectancy of the Nagaland status. Well, many of our honorable seniors have crossed almost 65, some have reached 70, some have reached 75. So our life expectancy is like that. And if you go down to the villages, now the elders, there are quite a good number, crossing 70, 80, 90, then 100 plus. But the way we treat our parents, our grandparents, grandfathers and mothers, I think this generation is not very keen in taking care of our parents as well as our grandparents. And therefore, I would like to suggest that this question, which they have given me an answer, that they give 200 rupees for those 60 years and above, that is per month, which is coming out to only 2,400 per annum in a year. Okay, that is for 60 years and above. For the 80 years and above, it is 500, so which comes to 6,000 per annum. To my mind, the 60 years and above, as I said, people are still active even after reaching 70, 75, let us say up to 75, or even up to 80. But the number of elders have increased. The grandparents have increased. If we see the statistics. In my village alone, about 55 of them are 85 years and above, which is a good number. Likewise, in some big villages, there are quite a lot of like that, elders. So from the government, if we can also set aside a budget, a separate budget, that I would suggest in this way, 85 years and above, at least give them either, if 1,000 is too big an amount, 600, 700 in a month, so that the children will take care of them because of the fact that their parents have also an income. See, we have to project that way. And especially I'm talking for the rural areas here. Now, many of our these young people will prefer sending their parents and grandparents to the old age home rather than taking care of them at home. That is not a part of the Naga culture. Our Naga culture and tradition is that we take care of our parents like that of ourselves. So we are driving ourselves away from the way we live from the ancient times. So therefore, if an enhancement may be made from the state budget, as far as central policy is concerned, we cannot change it, let it go like that. But 85 years and above in all the villages can be identified those who doesn't get, I will not include the government pensionary benefits group, the Gola. But those who doesn't get any income, there are quite a good number of population at the moment increasing. The life expectancy, life longevity has increased. So this is what I would like to make as suggestions. And in some of the big villages, where most of us have settled in the rural areas, we are unable to take care of our parents who are in the villages. And if we bring them to the urban areas, they feel more nostalgic, and they have a lot of physical anxieties and problems. So they would prefer to be in the village. So, and some doesn't have a relative to take care of them also. So if we can propose for an old age home in some of the big villages identified where there's a good number of populations. So these are few things I would like to suggest to the government. Of course, I've gone through the answer. There is no much to ask, but this is what I would like to put suggestions. Thank you, Speaker, sir.
As mentioned in the reply, the age limit is 60 years. Now anyone who attains the age of 60 automatically qualifies for this scheme, or the government of India, they gave certain quota, certain number of allotment to the beneficiaries. Because I also know so many old age people, more than 60 years, they are not a beneficiary, they are not availing these schemes. So I also want to know whether there are any criteria for the selection, and if it is not, then what should the old people in my areas also do to qualify for this scheme? Thank you.
Reply to supplementary question raised. I think with the advancement of material science, the longevity is more. And first of all, that should be assessed as to what will be the right age for people to get pension. Wherever in a state, government servants retire at the age of 60. Other states and central government service at the center, age is higher. I think all this should be reviewed from Government of India also and the state also. I had a privilege of traveling to see World Cup in 1990 in Italy. The deluxe coach, we traveled from Rome to Milan to Turin to back to Rome. The driver was 65 years old, and he was happily, no conductor, he himself, with 22 passengers in his deluxe coach. He cleans the car, he'll help with the luggages, he can handle. And he is very proud that he is not driver alone, but his son is a government driver working with the Prime Minister's office. So that much pride of people working. And he said that he had applied for international driver in Beijing when the time comes to go and drive. So people who retired or who is reaching 60 and above, those people who are active live longer and remain healthier. But if you start enjoying old age pension by 60s, and that gives you your sustenance, then you may give up working and become dependent to others. By then you can destroy yourself. The department, we are also discussing that these 60 years is not the age to retire in life. It has a lot of lives in it. Now I'm running 75, but by the grace of God, because of our activities and willing to be active, I think by the grace of God, we are healthy and working. Now, the Government of India policy has a limitation. And this there are, see, in Nagaland also, uncovered eligible beneficiaries in Nagaland. There are 16,003 eligible beneficiaries as per the record from the various district welfare officers who are yet to be covered under old age pension scheme. And many eligible cannot be covered as the ministry has put a ceiling limit based on the BPL population of 2001 census. So all these need update, up to update. Yes, I think department and the state, if our financial improves further, we should do justice to our elderly people. And there is a, with due respect to those people who are honest, there is a saying that beneficiaries or pensioners never die, because there are many bogus people drawing also. And therefore, it's good that village council plays a central role in identifying the eligibilities. Therefore, I hope our census will be good and village authority also be more sincere so that we can do. And for increase of pension, this is in discussion, but first we have to see what will be the right age to give benefits to the old age pension schemes. Thank you.
Subject matter. Speaker, sir, we all know that in every scheme and every project we have certain underlying guidelines and eligible criteria for execution of the schemes or to be a part of the beneficiary. In many instances, as we all know, there is always, with the intention to be more accommodative or to be more generous or to be more inclusive, we always tend to be deviating from the schemes, to be more accommodative, as I stated. But normally, we end up doing something wrong things while implementing the scheme. These all-age schemes, as we all know, is one of the welfare scheme, aims to provide financial assistance to a citizen who has little or no means of income sources, or who are in need, their need of social security. Or in other words, it is meant for the below poverty line beneficiaries. From the reply of the Honorable CM, who is Minister in charge of the Social Department, we also know that we have more than 63,000 beneficiaries covering under this scheme. Sir, I'm definitely sure that we have so many other general population which are not covered under this, not able to cover under this scheme, as seen in the, as we know, more than 16,000 population still yet to be covered. So certain question arises as to why the state government or why the ministry or why the scheme is not covering all the oldest population. Sir, it is also learned from the ministry that the ministry stopped adding new beneficiaries to the scheme because there is certain cap fixed by the Ministry of RT, because this scheme is administered by the Rural Development Ministry, implemented by the Social Welfare Department, and they have certain cap fixed as per the ratio of the PPL and then 2001 census. That's why the department also, I'm told that they are not able to add more beneficiaries to the scheme. Because one reason, one factor that, which we cannot add, because the list is already saturated as per the cap fix. And one reason, which I feel that, is that because of the dishonesty. Yesterday, one of our honorable senior member of the House, Honorable Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, has mentioned about the culture of honesty and losing of the value of honesty within Nagas. I think this factor is also one of the contributing reason for saturating this very list of the beneficiaries, because this, as I was saying, this is actually for the beneficiary of the PPL, but including wrongful inclusions of the beneficiaries who are above PPL, and it is very true in this very scheme. For instance, we see many beneficiaries' parents coming to collect this pension with coming with a big vehicle, Scorpio, Innova, or Fortuner. Or when we see the big vehicle line up in the to collect this free ration rice, so that shows a different story. So this is one reason that we also have to be very honest. And in fact, Speaker Sir, we the Nagas are not very, truthful in, especially when it comes to the economic or income status. So I'm sure even family members, relatives of the high officials sitting here, or even perhaps even the parents and family members of the honorable members of the House, even they may be enjoying these beneficiaries. So when we see the saturated list, it's all because of this. And we wholly cannot blame the department implementing the scheme also. And I'm sure this is not happening only in one scheme or the other scheme, but I'm sure it is happening in many other schemes, duplication of the list. Sir, it is also learned that on inquiry from the department, in one district, there are nearly 400 plus beneficiaries of this scheme who are government retired pensioners. So this thing exists. So, Speaker Sir, what I want to convey is that if you are very honest, if you are little honest and truthful in our claims, I'm sure that the department will also have some window to include more lists and adding more beneficiaries who are genuinely vulnerable and left out and the deserving applications. So, Speaker Sir, I just want to say that we all must try to educate and give awareness to give more justice to the schemes implemented by the department. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the time. Public urgent matter. I was not fully aware of yesterday when our brothers, Upper Sima students, were having agitation over the Kirusi Polytechnic institution for accreditation to the following engineering college. I came to only in the newspaper this morning, and I thought that it is very deep in my part to take the 0 hour to draw the attention of the House as well as the attention of the department, relevant department, and as the issue. Sir, I was given the privilege by the then Chief Minister in the then House to look after this technical education in addition to my other governmental assignments. And therefore, as a minister in charge,
I decided to pay an official visit to Kelosi Polytechnic institutions. I found that infrastructure were in a very good condition, as well as other facilities. And I thought that there was no full-fledged engineering college in the state. And this Kelosi Polytechnic should be the answer to have a full-fledged engineering college. And therefore, I have taken the counsel of the Chief Minister and prepared cabinet memo. And then I submitted in the cabinet. After routing through necessary course of formalities, it was brought to the cabinet for consideration. Somewhere it must be in the month of December, I think, 2007. December, if I'm not mistaken. The cabinet, after full deliberation, agreed to upgrade this polytechnic institution, Kelosi Polytechnic Institution, into the full-fledged engineering college. And after that, we faced our election, and 2008, 11 House started. Somehow or other, with the progress of the time, the government of Nagaland has not issued necessary official gazette notification to the effect for upgrading this Kelosi Polytechnic institution into a proper full-fledged engineering college. I think till today. And therefore, I thought that it is not necessarily a SEMA students unit. It has to be a general interest issue. And therefore, it is high time that this government take note of its own decision and then the necessary codal formalities to institute a full-fledged engineering college in this college, Kelosi Polytechnic. Well, in supplementation to that educational system, I wanted to give a word about this Kelosi. I think Kelosi was the first Naga minister, deputy minister, in the Assam government. Along with him, Mr. Choba Tamso was there. And then the Naga People Convention started their memorandum, and then the statehood was given to being. And therefore, he was such a good personality that then the Chief Minister of Assam found proper and befitting to be a deputy minister. And therefore, in honor of his contribution and public service, the government of Nagaland at that point of time make it convenient and justified to give his name to that institution, polytechnic institution, to his name. Moreover, he also happened to be from that area. And therefore, I loved its Kelosi Polytechnic Institution. Not necessarily only a sentimental aspect, but as a matter of fact. And therefore, this issue should not be prolonged, but necessary codal formalities, official codal formality has to be completed at the earliest, and then start running the engineering college in the state. Thank you very much, sir.
Speaker, sir. I'd like to make a statement under Rule 55 on the following subject. One is free movement regime, and the second is Gramin Dak Sibak. Sir, as we have also time for questionnaires and also elaborately discussed. I want to draw the attention of the House. Government of India by MHA letter number 1/76/2024 BM2 dated 24/12/2024 has issued instruction allowing the cross-border movement of people residing in the border area that is within 10 kilometers on each side of the Indo-Myanmar border. It further directed that the state government do deploy at least 2 police personnel and 2 health officials at each of the entry-exit points at COBs of Assam Rifles for smooth implementation. Sir, movement of people as per the above instruction shall be limited to 43 designated crossing points and will be granted to the holder of border pass issued by the authorized representative of Assam Rifles. Of the above 43 designated points, 9 of these are located within the state of Nagaland. MHA has requested the government of Nagaland to undertake checking of Myanmar nationals for their border pass and take appropriate action on their overstay, any other unauthorized activities. You are aware that these measures will impact the age-old historical, social, cultural, tribal and economic ties of Nagas living on both sides of the border. It will also impact the close family ties that exist between the community who live along the border, where at times people will have to cross the IMB for farming. Moreover, there is a movement of people across the international border of Myanmar and India to avail of health and education facilities, and hence a humanitarian considerations, the above restrictions need to be re-looked at open. Speaker, sir, the government has been highlighting the above issues of the to the Ministry of Home Affairs on numerous occasions, including the recent time as mentioned in Agartala on 21st December 2024. I raised the issue, but there was no comments in the closing remark. Speaker, sir, you will recollect that on 8 February 2024, the State Cabinet deliberated on the proposal of MHA for fencing the Indo-Myanmar border. The Cabinet decided to request the central government to continue the free movement regime, enact appropriate regulations and lay down processes for movement of people across the border, in close consultation with the people inhabiting the border areas. It also requested that the village council authorities concerned in the entire system of the regulations. The Chief Secretary wrote a letter to the Union Home Secretary on 14 February 2024 citing the significant to and fro movement across the border due to the close familial and tribal ties, ownership of residential and agricultural land, and sensitive names of the issue among the people living in the border areas. Speaker, sir, the State Cabinet in its meeting held on 6 January 2025 discussed about the MHA notification, and as the Cabinet decided, the Chief Secretary wrote a letter to the Union Home Secretary on 22nd January 2025. This letter reiterates government's stand to restore all free movement regime. Sir, you may also recall that the fourth session of the 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly adopted a unanimous resolution on free movement regime along the Indo-Myanmar border. This resolution was adopted by voice vote on 1st March 2024. The resolution cited the unique age-old historical, social, cultural, tribal and economic ties of the Naga people living on both sides of the border, and appealed to Government of India to reconsider its decision to suspend FMR along the Indo-Myanmar border. Speaker, sir, I feel that the sentiment of this August House need to be communicated to the MHA in an appropriate manner. It is proposed that, led by me, I think I propose that led by, and all party delegations to meet the Union Home Minister, Government of India at the earliest opportune time, because my voice raised in NEC meeting in his presence, and also cabinet meeting on the 6th, which was conveyed by Chief Secretary, there is no reaction and reply. So I feel that we can, a team of all party delegates may meet him and apprise the situation. During the meeting, it is proposed that the concerns of the House expressed through the unanimous resolution passed on 1st March 2024 and the Cabinet decision of 8 February 2024 and 6 January 2025 be communicated in an appropriate manner. So that is my suggestions. It is up to the House. Thank you. Sir, I'll complete the other one also. Speaker, sir. I rise to give a statement on the issue raised by Dr. Chiludo Ruzo, Honorable Member of this August House, on the 0-hour discussion on recruitment process of Gramin Dak Sivak in Department of Post, Government of India in Nagaland on 4th March 2025. As was pointed out by the Honorable MLA, for the post of DGS, applicants have to apply through online mode only, and the recruitment selection is based on their grade 10 merit. The Gramin Dak Sivak should be well versed in the local language to effectively deliver their services, as the state has not notified any local state language as third language. The local Naga languages are not part of the selection criteria for this post for the state of Nagaland. Hence, the field is open to all across Indian, non-English and Hindi to apply and avail the post. Sir, it is evident that the persons from outside Nagaland getting posted in Nagaland are not able to deliver their services in Nagaland due to their difficulties in conversing and delivering services in local languages. As a result, our citizens are deprived of these services on the one hand and lost out on potential employment opportunities on the other hand. In the light of the above, there is a clear case for the state to intervene in the interest of our citizens and the youth in particular. Accordingly, it is proposed that the matter be referred to a select committee for comprehensive examination of the issue. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, sir, thank you for considering, as requested, to discuss urgent public importance under Rule 50 pertaining to the exploration and extraction of petroleum in Nagaland. I rise with deep concern for our state's economic future as a steadfast commitment to achieving financial self-reliance. Although this subject has been discussed on many occasions, progress in decision-making and implementation has remained stagnant. Nagaland, Speaker Sir, even though rich in natural endowments, has long been burdened by dependency. This reliance is evident in our modest GDP figures, the scarcity of indigenous industries, and our dependence on external sources to meet our energy needs. And our dependence on external sources to meet energy needs, and not only that, our daily essentials like food, fuel, pharmaceuticals come predominantly from outside the state. While nearly 90% of our energy is imported from other states, this situation not only stifles our growth, but also prevents us from unlocking the full potential of our natural resources. Speaker Sir, it is universally acknowledged that energy in the form of fuel, electricity, or other varieties is the driving force behind economic progress. Without a stable and sufficient energy supply, our aspirations for job creation, industrial expansion, and infrastructural modernization remain unfulfilled. Alarmingly, our consumption of petroleum products increased from 154,000 metric tons in 2019 to 172,000 metric tons in 2020. That is an indication of our deep reliance on external sources. Speaker Sir, as global entities align their climate policies under frameworks like the Paris Agreement and set sights on a net zero future by 2050, we have very less time, but not yet late. So we must seize this timely opportunity to explore and evaluate our indigenous hydrocarbon resources. Geologically, Speaker Sir, Nagaland is very promising for hydrocarbon exploration, lying within the Naga scope and belt of the prolific Assam-Arakan Basin, a Category A basin. The Naga scope and belt is considered a primary source area for hydrocarbon generation, continually feeding major oil and gas fields in neighboring states. A recent hydrocarbon assessment by the Government of India estimates that the Assam-Arakan Basin contains 1,633 million metric tons of oil equivalent, of which only 178 million metric tons of oil equivalent, that is 11% has been discovered till date. The present question is, where is the remaining 89% of yet to find oil? Are these reserves in Nagaland's reservoirs, or do they lie in Assam or Arunachal? Some estimates suggest that Nagaland alone may hold up to 600 million tons. However, Speaker Sir, these estimates remain speculative until systematic oil exploration is carried out by reputable oil and gas companies. To date, ONGC conducted exploratory drilling and seismic surveys covering 602 line kilometers for 3D surveys and 6 square kilometers for 3D surveys during the 1970s in and around Waka, Jomogedima, and Dimapur districts. The remainder of Nagaland remains largely unexplored without systematic scientific, geological, and geophysical studies. Speaker Sir, as you all know, oil exploration is much like a medical diagnosis, akin to conducting an X-ray or MRI to precisely locate hidden ailments. Comprehensive seismic surveys and rigorous scientific assessments are essential. History reminds us that the Champang oil field in Waka district produced crude oil until the early 1990s, yet no extensive exploration surveys have been undertaken across our state since then. Without these critical studies, we cannot fully gauge our hydrocarbon potentials or develop an effective, realistic appraisal strategy. Honorable Speaker, sir, allow me to elaborate on why we must urgently commence our oil exploration in the state. Number one is for economic growth and revenue generation, economic growth and revenue. The other is for employment generation, and the next is for infrastructure development, energy security and industrial growth, utilization of untapped resources, and finally, I wanted to further elaborate on this, strategic advantage. With India's growing energy demands, Nagaland has the opportunity to become a significant contributor to national energy security. Proactive policies could attract investors and national companies, bolstering our state's long-term development. Speaker, sir, therefore, as we decide to start exploration, there will be challenges and considerations. The first being the legal issues. We have Article 371A, which provides a special right to the Naga people over the land and resources. And so, even though the resources is ours, it is our choice whether to remain underprivileged and dependent on grants or to fully exploit the God-given natural resources, minerals, petroleum, and natural gas that would uplift our state, Speaker, sir. We also have environmental concerns. Any petroleum exploration must balance with environmental sustainability to protect our forest, water source, and biodiversity. We also have to consider community involvement in case of our decision to go for exploring, and inclusive process ensuring fair compensation and benefit for local communities is essential to prevent conflicts, as we have witnessed in the earlier attempts. With proper policies, transparency, and sustainability measures, oil exploration can be a transformative driver of Nagaland's economy. Speaker, sir, as we are all aware, and as we all profess as Christian, reflecting on the teachings of our Lord Jesus Christ in Matthew 10:16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Unquote. I am reminded that we have been endowed with wisdom to identify and seize opportunities. God did not create us. God did not make our Nagas to live in a poverty or at the expense of others. The choice before us is clear, Speaker, sir, whether to remain dependent or move forward toward economic independence. In light of these considerations, Speaker Sir, I respectfully urge the state government to immediately issue a petroleum exploration license, PEL. This license would empower reputable oil firms to commence detailed exploration activities under a revenue sharing contract with clearly defined commitment programs and timelines. Although this exploration phase might spend 3 to 10 years, it is essential for establishing the commercial viability of Nagaland's oil reserves. Moreover, during this phase, the state stands to benefit from annual license fee, direct and indirect employment opportunities, local hiring for vehicles and equipment, and rental incomes from landowners. Beyond these immediate advantages lies the potential for long-term economic transformation, Speaker Sir. A successful exploration program would pave the way for issuing a petroleum mining lease, what we call it PML, enabling sustained production and transportation of crude oil. This strategic move, Speaker Sir, is not solely about tapping fossil fuel reserves. It is about reimagining our economic destiny. It is our opportunity to break free from dependency by combining our indigenous wisdom with modern technology that we have at hand to secure a prosperous future. Our past experience from ONGC's operations in Champang Tsuri to historical well drilling in our region demonstrate that Nagaland's oil is capable of yielding the resources required to stimulate industrial growth and uplift our communities. A systematic, scientifically driven exploration program will unlock these untapped resources while fostering capacity building and skill development among our people. Honorable Speaker, sir, the urgency of this issue cannot be overstated. At this critical economic crossroads that we are faced with, we must choose a decisive action and innovation over prolonged dependency and stagnation. Let this Assembly and the government of the day view petroleum and natural gas exploration as a strategic investment in Nagaland's future, a vital step towards achieving energy self-reliance and economic empowerment. I, therefore, Speaker Sir, urge this august House to direct the state government to take immediate steps in launching a comprehensive oil exploration program. Let us unlock the hydrocarbon potential within our land, generate employment, stimulate local industries, and build the robust infrastructure of tomorrow. And in doing so, we will secure not only much needed revenue for our state, but also a legacy of prosperity and self-reliance for future generations. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for your attention and for considering this pivotal initiative toward truly safeguarding Nagaland's economic future. Thank you.
House towards the announcement of the then Union Minister of Oil and Natural Gas on the 30th January 2018, exactly 7 years ago. Clause 4 of Article 371A in the Constitution of India holds that no parliamentary act dealing with the transfer and ownership of land and its resources shall apply to the state of Nagaland without the State Assembly consent. Today, we have entered 7 March 2025 and we may be getting very late because if you look at the way how the world economy is advancing, the time is not very far off when crude oil will be exhausted or slowly lose its relevance. We all know that the future global economy is going to be underplanned by technologies that depend on minerals such as lithium, graphite, cobalt, titanium, and rare earth elements. These are essential for the advancement of many sectors, including high technical electronics, telecommunication, transport, and defense system. They are also very vital to power the global transmission to a low carbon emission economically and will promote climatic action and environmental protection. All countries, including India, is making efforts to replace the oil with other renewable energy, clean energy, to make it more cost effective and to protect us from the environment. The time is not long when all the vehicles will be converted to electric form in India, and it was reflected in the Union budget of 2021 to 22 to make India 100% electric vehicle nation by the year 2030. Likewise, India had included lithium in storage mineral category, and its exploration is on top priority. Now, I am concerned that any delay in the exploration of oil, natural gas, petroleum products, and minerals may cost us so dearly, as the oil may get exhausted, and also petroleum products, minerals may lose its worth and relevance in the future. Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to draw the attention of this August House towards the appeal made by 8 Naga oil officials for exploration of oil in Nagaland in September 2021. And the details, already the previous Honorable Speaker has said, I would not repeat. Now, for example, on an average, our neighboring state of Assam earns approximately more than 2,000 crores annually as royalty from oil and gas alone, while Nagaland is getting none. Honorable Speaker, sir, therefore, I strongly feel that the present and the future generation should no longer be deprived anymore of the economic benefits that can accrue if oil exploration resumes in Nagaland. As of now, the window of opportunity is opened. I say it is open till the time crude oil remains relevant and valued. And we pray that we arrive there fast. This will be a good strategic option for all of us, the crucial hour of reckoning. Honorable Speaker, sir, Nagaland, among the other eastern states, is most fortunate with rich mineral deposits, blessed by Almighty God. Nagaland government, in its wisdom, had given permission to oil and natural gas exploration for oil survey and investigation in 1973. Accordingly, ONGC surveyed and drilled in places where oil was available in areas such as Champang, Hosake, Koponala, and Tosheze. Oil was extracted and refined on trial basis, and in the year 1994, Nagaland state received revenue of 33 crores 83 lakhs as a royalty of 15% and with the addition of 3% on the based on the article of 371, and so Nagaland government received 18% more than the other states in the country. Nagaland state could not further do the extraction of oil inside Nagaland due to various internal differences arising out of Article 371A. Civil societies argue that in view of Article 371A, outsiders shall not be allowed to extract oil as the land and its resources belong to its people. The Naga political group said that oil should not be extracted inside Nagaland till we get independence. On the other hand, government of Assam continues to develop oil fields along our borders. In Assam, there are 4 oil refineries: Digboi, Bagagon, Nimaligarh, and Guwahati. Initially, the capacity of the above 4 oil refineries was only 5.85 metric tons per annum. But now, 2 years ago, it was increased to 17 metric tons per year, almost 4 times more. And by now, it is almost 7 times more. 4 refinery capacities have been raised by the Assam government in collaboration with the government of India, and they have developed 39 oil fields to meet the requirements of the 4 oil refineries. I have all the names, but just to avoid, for convenience of the time, I will not be reading out those names, 39. In Nagaland, we have 7 oil fields inside Nagaland, namely Champang, Hosake, Kopanala, Tosheze, Nikihe, Tokshe, and Pishike. It is now 51 years old that oil extraction has been operational between Assam and Nagaland boundary. And also inside the Nagaland state, taking the advantage of our unresolved Naga issue, the deposits purely in Assam. Why Assam government did not develop refineries only within the state of Assam? And my question is, why should the government of Assam only explore and develop oil fields along the Nagaland boundary? We Nagas should introspect and resolve our past differences in this matter, and at the earliest take appropriate decision soon on Assam, Nagaland boundary oils and also the oil fields that are inside our state. A sense of urgency for oil exploration in Nagaland is the need of the hour, so as to fully take the advantage of its word and take our state towards economic prosperity through the coming of industry, power generation, infrastructure development, and financial benefits, etc., etc. In the right time such as this, and let the people and the government enjoy the benefits of God-given natural gas, petroleum products, and minerals like our neighboring state under the able and the most proactive leadership of our Chief Minister, Sri Nipiro. Thank you.
Speaker, sir, I rise to participate on matters of urgent public importance on the subject exploration and extraction of petroleum in Nagaland. So we are grateful to the framers of Indian Constitution, particularly our Naga pioneers and leaders, for inserting Article 371A, protecting the rights and privileges of our people. However, to my understanding, this very article have been misconceptualized and thoroughly misinterpreted by our people. And in fact, the article has become a stumbling block in the development of our state in many aspects. Honorable Sir, today we are living at the age of super technology. Today, a laser can destroy a settlement. A laser can pull down anything above the sky. A laser can extract anything beneath the ground. Sir, I'm afraid by the time we agreed upon to explore the oils and other natural minerals from our state, who knows? Our oil fields may find dried up because we never know what is really happening in our neighboring state. As I said, technology matters a lot. Sir, it is also to be noted, any nation or any state is determined. The developing nation or developed nation is determined by the economy of its people. To my mind, our Naga leaders, be it our national workers, be it civil society leaders, or for that matter, the intellectuals, it is something like we are aspiring to become a millionaire by remaining hunger today. Therefore, sir, through this house, I want to provoke the minds of our Naga leaders, the intellectuals, to come to the realization, wake up from the deep slumber. We cannot keep on sleeping over the Article 371A, and it is high time to come forward and work together with the government and start exploring the petroleum from our state. Thank you, sir.
Speaker, thank you for the time. This matter has been discussed comprehensively, so I do not want to go into detail, or I would not reiterate what my earlier friend friends have said. I just want to share a few thoughts on how we have come about. We all support, we have been supporting for exploration of resources, including petroleum, for the interest of the state. So we should all, this time, very firmly support this decision of the state government. So that is one area. I just have concern on some issues regarding the idea conceived of sharing the revenue in the so-called disturbed area belt. It's a very brilliant idea. The format of revenue sharing has been discussed. It's not been implemented. Nagas, whether it's in Arunachal Pradesh or in Assam or Manipur or in Nagaland for that matter, within ourselves, we don't settle illegally. That is our perception. Only with the settlement order of the government, we go and habitate those areas. And therefore, I want to dwell on the areas which has been tagged under the dispute, tagged as a disputed belt. I don't know, but to share revenue with the counterpart, I don't disagree to that arrangement. But you see, just few days back, Honorable Minister from Assam, who is in charge of the Assam Border Protection Department, had very categorically said that the Assam land, measuring of about 83,000 hectares, has been occupied by 3 states, including the state of Nagaland. So he said Nagaland had occupied 83,000 hectares, their land. In the assembly, he said that. Meghalaya, 59,490.21 hectares, and the remaining by Mizoram. So, in the light of those statements, and this issue of land with the Assam is with the Honorable Supreme Court. So, I just want to, this is a frank sharing, is that why don't we make phase-wise? Phase 1 can be in the places where we don't have any issues. Phase 2, we're not disagreeing with the idea of sharing the revenue. But get some, we should also get some legal advice, I think, perhaps the State Advocate General or any other legal luminaries in the state who we engage, so that we are at a safe side. Because we cannot risk our land and our people, and we cannot leave them in their own mercy. We have to protect them. So in the erstwhile Dimapur district, including Dimapur, we have sector A, B, C, D, as mentioned by earlier speakers. There's potential for petroleum oil in those places. And so our people, they have apprehension about it. This was vented out to some of us who are representing the border areas. So if we can go phase-wise, that is my suggestion. That's a personal opinion. It depends on the government, will deliberate again. But this is something to ponder. I want to share it with the honorable members of this August House. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you. But I think it's high time we should exploit our natural resources for the benefit of the state. I thank the leadership. He has been very keen to see that the state develops comprehensively. No one should be left behind. But at the same time, all these technical issues with the land dispute problems should be taken really care, with utmost care, because we have issues as mentioned earlier. We have our rights, Article 371A is a blessing for us. We should not try to interpret it our own whims and fancies. It's a true blessing for us. Our people are saying it's our land. Why should we share rights of occupancy? Is there more than 100 years they have occupied those lands. And so settlement order has been given by the government, either by the British government before 1947 and government of India before 1968 and the state government. So I think these are the things we should also deliberate a little bit to a far extent and see that everybody is benefited. So thank you for the time.
Burdens to all of us, but as far as practical involvement on this matter is concerned, it is again mostly confined in my constituency. The name that you are hearing, Jambang and Chori, all falls within my constituency. And this portion of the oil areas, oil field, are not in the exploration stage. These are already in the production stage, Speaker said. As the former honorable speakers have already mentioned, when the former Chief Minister of Nagaland, he was holding the portfolio of geology and mining sometime in 1973, the inauguration took place at Jambang oil field. And exploration license was given to the ONGC at that point of time, Oil and Natural Gas Commission. That was during that time, the nomination, you call it nomination era. And this ONGC, they have messed up everything, we should say like that, because whatever is due to our people has not been given. Only 33 something crore were given as a revenue, as mentioned, to the government of Nagaland. And thousands and lakhs of metric tons of crude oils have been, let us say, stolen. I would very bluntly put it that way. Stolen from our land. Then after that, there were a lot of protests. I was very much a part of that. NSF was at the forefront that these people should not be given a free hand to extract. A license was given for exploration, whether there is oil or not, but they went into extraction, and now it's in the production stage. If you go and see the spot at Old Sori and Jambang, you will see a fresh crude oil oozing out from the pipe which has been inserted on the ground. So it is in the production stage. Now, the point here is our people, sometimes we are very, either we are very smart or we don't know the future consequences, the collateral damage that will happen to our people. So they went to the court filing a BIL. Later on they realized that it was not a very good endeavor. So it was withdrawn. But the Supreme Court thought, and they were of the opinion that since it involves both the state and the Union of India, and also a public interest, so it was kept as a suo motu case, which is still lying in the Supreme Court. Now, the interpretation of that Article 371A is still a bone of contention. Speaker, sir, I'll not take much time, but let me go a little bit because I'm already in this field. So now, as far as my opinion is concerned, the Article 371A, which has come about after the 13th Amendment, Nagaland State Act 1962, it is a political agreement which has come out of a political agreement. And therefore, it cannot be interpreted inside the court. It has to be political negotiations between the Union of India and the state government of Nagaland. Otherwise, if we start interpreting this inside the court, I'm afraid the intention of that agreement will not be fulfilled. The intent of that agreement will not be fulfilled. And I am of the strong view that it cannot be and it should not be interpreted inside the court because it is a political agreement. Now, as far as my area is concerned, I have taken up this matter personally, and I have discussed with the Jambang Land Owners Union, GLU, and the Tsuri Old Land Owners Union. They have already agreed upon that if government of Nagaland is ready to explore, in fact it is on the production stage, they are ready to. Now they have even given NOC, no objection certificate. It was handed over to me, through me as their representative. Sometime in the month of last year, April, May, I don't remember the exact month, but I have already handed over to our Honorable Chief Minister the NOC from both Jambang Landowners Union and the Old Landowners Union. And so therefore, what I would like to urge upon today is we must expedite the matter which is still pending in the court, if it can be handled, of course, in a proper way. But in the meantime, if government of Nagaland can also explore devise some mechanism well protecting our rights, which is guaranteed under Article 371A, land and its resources belongs to the people. So therefore, while jealously guarding that right, we can explore, devise some other mechanism in inviting some of the companies through the government of Nagaland and start the production stage. But during the last discussion, I was a part of that meeting. The union secretary in charge of petroleum and natural gas visited Nagaland, and there was a meeting in the chief minister's office. I was also invited. I went, and they were also very positive that the government of India is interested to immediately start this exploration. But the condition that I have put in that meeting was there has to be a refinery so that it will generate employment for our youth also. And that should be the condition precedent which I have put forward. If you see, Speaker Sir, the deposits in Assam and Nagaland, there will be no much difference. In fact, many of the geologists, the research, the scientists says that the oil deposits in Jambang and Old Suri is massive. And therefore, why can't we also qualify for a refinery, even if they are talking of in terms of deposits? And so this was my demand and argument I was putting forward. It was minuted in the meeting minutes. It was very positive. I'm still demanding, and I'm of the opinion that the condition precedent should be there should be a refinery in our land so that we can accommodate our people. Let me just conclude by saying that if you see the Assam Accord, how it came about, the All Assam Students Union launched a massive agitation because of the illegal immigrants in Assam. So when they entered into agreement, one of the main success story of that, let us say, the agreement is establishment of refinery. And you will find all of us travels to Guwahati. These days we take the other road, Tipu side, otherwise Numalika. This is actually an outcome of the Assam Accord. And they cannot say that the volume of production from your lane is lesser than Assam. No, Speaker Sir. So therefore, I would still insist that yes, as a representative of my constituency, 40 Pandari, and also the affected people, the landowners of Jambang and Old Suri, we have already given our consent, and we will abide by what we have already given as NOC. It has to be expedited. It should be initiated at the earliest. But the benefits which are due for our people should not be sacrificed and should be protected for the benefits of the younger generation. Thank you very much.
Speaker, sir, I rise to participate in the discussion on issue pertaining to exploration and extraction of petroleum oil in Nagaland. Sir, you're aware that Nagaland is endowed with rich reserve of oil. Exploration activities was started in the state by ONGC, and first was made at, discovery was made in Champang in 1973 and started producing in 1983. The oil gas production from Champang was stopped in May 1994 due to various reasons, including non-payment of royalty or production of petroleum beyond permission granted by the state, and not giving the information how much quantity it has drilled. Sir, you're aware, we have rich deposit as mentioned by all the speakers. In Champang, Zori block, 31 wells, out of which 21 are oil bearing, 2 is gas, 5 found barren, and 3 incomplete. Besides that, interstate spanning across 12 districts, starting from Mount, Nagaland, Mokokchung, Wokha, Temenyu, Newland, Dimapur, Chumgadima, Peret, Kohima, Phek, and Meluri. More than 400 villages covering. So it is not only Champang, but covering 12 districts. And so that shows that we have huge deposit. In recent time, in DAB area, ONGC have carried out exploratory drilling at Piheku village, Nikhe village, and Tokishe village under Newland district. Speaker, sir, what I want to mention is all this petroleum and natural gas we have to take up collectively, not individually, and through the state government. Otherwise, we will be lured or misused, and we will not get the benefit. Speaker, sir, Nagaland state passed an act, the Nagaland Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulation and the Nagaland Petroleum and Natural Gas Rules were notified in 2012. In December 2012, the state invited expression of interest for carrying in 11 area oblique zones. Permit was granted for exploration and extraction of petroleum and natural gas to Metropolitan Oil and Gas Private Limited in Wokha district. But Government of India, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, the minister in charge had written to the state objecting the act which this assembly had passed. Then in between, you are aware of public interest litigation, PIL was filed by some hosts, but with an understanding they had withdrawn. But as mentioned, the Honorable Court took up the case so moto PI and is pending for disposal in the court. I'm told that there is some hope. And the main issue on this case is, now, who is the order? Is it central government? Is it the state? Or is it the mount owner? This is a very dangerous issue. Though in the Indian Constitution, in Article 371A, land and its resources belongs to the people. This is contested. So there are many suggestions. Somebody started taking individually, some collectively, but the state government also could not handle this. And in this issue, when I became Chief Minister in 2003, the National Development Council, NDC, meeting was held in Nagaland, J&K, chaired by Honorable Prime Minister Vajpayee. And I raised this issue. But since in a huge meeting, they could not go into detail, so they referred that the state government, Petroleum Ministry and the Home Ministry may please sit together and find solution. In that, in recognition of the ownership, added royalty was given. 2%. That is a token of the ownership. But since it became a case and we are not united, and that's how till today we are facing this problem. Now, Speaker Sir, our government has been pursuing the exploration and extraction of oil with Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas since August 2018. Our aim has been to resolve the deadlock and to resume petroleum operation in Nagaland in accordance with the special provision for the state as inserted in the Constitution of India. But because of court case, there are apprehension that we may be used and things may get, others will take advantage. And that's why there are hesitance. And therefore, it is actually subsidized. But discussion and educating one another is one issue. But since the case is pending in the court, we may not be able to take decision. Speaker Sir, you are aware that the oil-rich regions are along the DAB of the state, disputed area belt. A meeting was held by our officers and me at Dimapur on 21st September 2021 with the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas and the officers from Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. The meeting discussed, among other things, allowing oil and gas activities in the block awarded under Open Electric Licensing Policy OALP in Nagaland and granting permission to ONGC to resume its operation within Nagaland and the DAB. In continuation to the meeting held at Dimapur, an alternative interim agreement through tripartite MOU between GOI and Government of Nagaland and Government of Assam and bipartite MOU for resumption of activities in Nagaland was suggested. Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, shared a draft with us. The state government had shared our comments and suggestions with MOPNG to be incorporated in the draft MOU. In that, if there is sufficient crude oil found, then refinery should be established within the state of Nagaland. It was one of our conditions, as Achombemo had also expressed his concern. I, with the official, including Chief Secretary, met Union Minister Mr. Hardip Singh Puri on 9 September 2022 and requested for formulating a policy specific to the state of Nagaland. During the meeting, contained other suggestions were made, including carving out relatively smaller size of exploration activities to attract more bidders and extending royalty and revenue share to the people of Nagaland. There also, in that meeting also, we have come up with a setting up of refinery in Nagaland was also reiterated. Speaker Sir, we feel that these measures would be in nature of an interim arrangement and will not prejudice the ongoing case. It would also facilitate exploiting and extraction of oil and natural gas in our state. We can also, if people agree and we decide, we can do away in the disputed area, but we can do within the state, our own state, minus we will take the disputed area belt separately and take up this case which are within the state boundary without any dispute. Speaker Sir, we feel that these measures would be in nature of an interim agreement and will not jeopardize the court case. That is what we told. Our government further feels that an interim arrangement for royalty revenue sharing is required. Pending disposal of the case in the Supreme Court, royalty needs to be equally shared for the entire DAB area covering sectors A, B, C, D, E and F, which now Assam also agreed in A, B, C and D, but the clarity is not there in E and F, which was also agreed that it should be kept in the escrow account till some solution is found. In order to resolve the deadlock, a number of meetings were held between the central government and government of Nagaland, and also with the Assam. government. Speaker Sir, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, GOI, constituted a high-level committee to discuss resolution of exploration and production activities in Nagaland. Subsequently, a meeting with a delegation was held on 8 October 2024 at Kohima. The state government reiterated to its delegations of a special status conferred by the Constitution of the state of Nagaland. Sir, further discussion was held with Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas on 13 November 2024. The need to evolve a set of measures specifically for Nagaland was reiterated. Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas stressed the importance of minimum economic capacity, and hence it will depend on the volume of production attained after exploration phase, that is about the refinery. Sir, opening up the state of Nagaland for oil and gas exploration and production will definitely improve the state finances, as mentioned. In this, we have set up a ministerial committee headed by Chief Minister and the 2 Deputy Chief Ministers and the local MLA of the area, so that we can resolve with the public through the MLAs, and we can think of starting to explore and exploit within Nagaland. I have mentioned on previous occasion that Nagaland is rich, but the people of Nagaland remains poor. I'm confident that together we should find ways to explore and extract petroleum, oil, and natural gas in our state. Thank you. Speaker Sir, I beg to present in the House a copy each of the annual administrative reports 2024-2025 of the following departments. 1. Geology Mining. 2. State Council of Education, Research and Training. 3. Tribal Affairs. 4. Soil and Water Conservation. 5th. Food and Civil Supplies. 6. Economic and Statistics. 7. Municipal Affairs. 8. Sericulture. 9. Information Technology and Communication. 10. Evolution. 11. Social Welfare. 12. Land Revenue. 13. Arts and Culture. Sir, I beg to present to the House a copy each of the following. 1. Nagaland Information Commission Annual Report 2023-2024. 2. Office of the State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities Annual Report 2022-2023. Speaker Sir, I beg to move the following, that the rules for administration of justice and police in Nagaland, 5th Amendment Bill 2025, be taken into consideration.
Honorable members, there is no notice for amendment that have been received on this bill, but members may seek clarification if any. Honorable Chief Minister may now move for passing of the bill.
I beg that the bill be passed.
Honorable members, the motion move is this, that the rules of administration for administration of justice and police in Nagaland, Fifth Amendment Bill be passed. All those who are in favor of passing the bill may say aye. Aye. Those against may say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The bill is passed.
Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the Nagaland Work Charge and Casual Employees Regulation Second Amendment Bill 2025 be taken into consideration.
Once again, honorable members, I have not received any notice for amendment on this bill, but honorable members may seek clarification if any. I now request the Honorable Chief Minister to move for passing of the bill.
Speaker, sir, I beg that the bill be passed.
The motion move is this, that the rules for administration of justice, the motion move is this, that the Nagaland Work Charge and Casual Employees Regulation Second Amendment Bill 2025 be passed. All those in favor of passing the bill may say aye. Aye. Those against may say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The bill is passed.
Our Honorable Chief Minister, Finance Minister, Dr. Nephew Riuba, he present at the House to Kuri Disha, he took a participate Kuriboga Nimoi, Harakurias. Pichi Kotanogo, Ekta Tuida, important day task. First, sir, one budget speech to first governor speech to Hobi, budget speech to Hobi, Aruki speech to Hobi, number one to Amahan. Itu Amahan a political issue. Itu koila koi chai. Kiman ba ahayase ita Amahan 6 season hoyase. Itu he political issue he koi kena. কিন্তু এনেকা কৰিবতে কৈ কিনা আমাৰ কাৰ্মান এটা ডিচিশ্যন জলদি কাৰ্মান অফ ইণ্ডিয়া বি নলয় আৰু আণ্ডাৰগ্ৰাউণ্ড ফেকশ্যনটো ৰখি আছে আকৌ তাইখান সেই ফেকশ্যন পিছিও সতা বি ফেকশ্যন কাম বি ফেকশ্যন মানৱ বি ফেকশ্যন তাইখান লগা কি নেশ্যন আছে নেশ্যন বি বেছি ফেকশ্যন 28 money, 28 faction, 28 nation, I can laga. To inaga hui jaise, government of India bi ikono kori. Sir, amahan khali facilitator. Inaga hin hui gina, amahan bi inaga time opposition list government hawa time te. Antokram bi ekta hogi. Amahan bi ekta hui se. Government of India ke itu tapi melagina force kurigina joldi settlement koritilia hobanagi inaga amahan kiki kurigina jabo ar fencing kuribo FMR amahan discuss kurise itu to ki karni ase itu issue karni ase tati fencing kuriba na yati fencing kuribo bishi disrupt hoile yati fencing bishi hoa rahe disrupt ki ase itu biya makan itu bhavana kurile bhal ki hole bi government of India to biya makan bi ek bar fight kurikna shaile hobe naki itu budget lagabi noy hole bi that space te thaka ra moi itu koi dia ase sir itu budget te bishi khushi paya ase amar chief minister ke Bishi thanks to us. Sub jagade satisfactory, department satisfactory we can have you. Aru bishi phal potato. Yati page 2, Mara 6 day, Chief Minister Life Insurance Scheme. Tatilaga Kondokorobi Olagana Tigise, শুনিছে ইটো ভালকো ঠিক চাইলে ভাল এটা তাকটো হলে আমাৰ চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ ভাল আছে আমাৰ পাব্লিক লবই থাকে পাব্লিক ভাল আছে কয় আৰু ডাক্তাৰ খান কয় নলব ইটো পলিটিক্স খেলি আছে না হুচাকে তাইখান পইচা পৌঁছা নাই ইঞ্চুৰেঞ্চ পৰা ইটো পাৰকো তাই কৰি কিনা ধৰি কিনা চাইলে যদি কিলে পাব্লিক লগা মাইণ্ড ইটো কাৰ্ডটো লৈ কিনা চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ কাৰ্ডটো লৈ কিনা চাইলে বি পইচা নাপাব নেকি ডাউটফুল কিলে মানে ডাক্তাৰ খান একবাৰ ওলাই দিছে প্ৰাইভেট ডাক্তাৰ খান পেপাৰটো ওলাই দিছে ইটো ঢেকি লৈছে ইটো পৰা চুল দিছে চুল কৰি কিনা যি হ'লে বি পাব্লিক ইমান খুচি পাই আছে আমাৰ চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰকে ইটো জলদি সেটেল কৰিলে ভাল আছে আৰু স্যাৰ মই আজি বাজেটে নতুন একটা দুইটা লিখি কিনা দি কিনা আছে তাই ইয়াতে পেজ 3 9A para 9 and para 11 তাতে একটাটো আছে drone training itu 9 tiado drone training and logistic program itu tiga aset tadi and an amount of rupees 2.50 itu drone tu di drone punawale training tibu koi asana na itu drone tu bom poki kena pera tu na ki ase itu pun tu gitu drone itu না warfield কিবা কৰিব কাৰণে ট্ৰেইনিং ল'ব কাৰণে কৰি আছে না মই এইটো ভাবি আছে এইটো ড্ৰোন বনাবলৈ এইটো নতুন আকৌ স্যাৰ বেছি ভাল কথাটো মইতো পুষ্টি মানুহ আছে পুষ্টি পৰা আহিছে আমাৰ সব নাগা মানুহ পুষ্টি পৰা আহিছে মৰং হোৱাটো আজি একদম ফাৰ্ষ্ট বাজেটটা আহি যোৱাটো মৰংটো আজি এইটো আহি যাইছে itu tu ita hal ko thori gina chaile itu tu ita moi ekdam khushi pa itu tu ita notun budget space te amar chief minister dia de itu bishi khushi pa itu janai dia ase sir important do amahan posong dembi kali bi koisile itu agri allied sector te Agri allied sector kile mani amara sab to khawli ase Nagaland to climate pi phal ase climate kishim ase altitude pi high bi ase low bi ase tati kono ba jaga ta anaras phal hoy pineapple kono ba jaga te plum phal hoy kono ba jaga te banana idubi phal hoy foothill area tati ki lagai bi phal hobo আৰু আমি নিচিনা পাহাৰতে হইলে তাতি মেজা ভাল হয় আলু ভাল হয় আৰু নাশপাতি ভাল হয় আৰু কফি ভাল হয় গৰম জায়গাত ভাল নোহাটো আমাৰ জায়গাত পঠাইবি ভাল হয় আমাৰ জায়গাত ভাল নোহাটো গৰম জায়গা পিনি ভাল তাতি সন্দেশ বি একটাহি নহয় কিনা Agri allied the Sandis Pilapi, BSc Pura Khan, itu Khan P, itu study Purile, Hopalogo, itu. So, sir, budget to itu Khan Agri allied to do a budget, PCT level. Agri allied, Koi Tagile, Poishan and Takile, financial assistant I can give, upgrade Nukule, financial position to upgrade Nukule, itu Agri allied sector Pilap. একো কৰিব নোৱাৰিব খালি পুৰাণাটো হি চাই থাকিব পইচা এডিশনাল হলিবি কি পৰা হলিবি ইটো কান এগ্ৰি আলাই সেক্টৰটো হলিয়া চাইলে বা আজি তাক আমাৰ সব পাৰ্লামেণ্টাৰী এনে এডভাইজাৰ বিলাক পি ভালি আছে স্পেশালি এগ্ৰিকালচাৰ এডভাইজাৰটো হলে এমএলএ খান লগি থাকি তাই ভাল আছে itu nishi na agri alike to pusti laga report lobo karne pusti farmers khan laga report lobo karne irrigation advisor hobi itu westland advisor hobi और इतना तो वेस्टर्न भी नहीं की इतो खान है इतो खान हॉर्टिकल्चर इतो खान सब पुष्टि लगा रिपोर्ट लो इतना थाके वाला and then you can build up your own department, you can improve your department agri allied sector there. But sir, speaker sir, agri allied the Nagaland भालो है की होले भी सब तो भालो है क्या है cucumber भी इमान भालो है Biennial भी ভাল হয় ফ্যাক্টরি भी ঘুরিব পাৰিব বাচ্চাৰ এইটো আউটলেট তো হ'ব লাগিব লাগে কোনটো জায়গাটো পৌঁছিলে হ'ব ইটো ৰাস্তা বিচাৰিব লাগিব ইটো নেথাকিলে যদি কোন ৰাস্তাত যাব ক'ত লৈ যাব ক'ত পৰা ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰি না ক'ত খতম হ'ব খতম হোৱা জায়গা বি বিচাৰি দিব লাগে ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট কনসাৰ্ন ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট তেতিয়া ফাৰ্মাৰ্ছ খান বি ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট হ'ব প্ৰডিউচ বেছি হয় ফাৰ্মাৰ খান পৰা নাগালেণ্ডৰ প্ৰডাকশ্যন বি বেছি হয় কি কিচিম হ'লে বি ইটো লৈ যাবলৈ ইটো চাৰি যাবলৈ জাগা আউটলেট আমাৰ খান ষ্টেট গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট বনাই দিয়া নাই ইটো বনাই দিবলৈ চব মানুহ আমাৰ খান বি মিলাই কিনা ইটো बाहर दे बिक्री करूले बाहर दे एक्सपोर्ट करूले इटू रास्ता भी करी दिबो लागे देन फार्मर्स बिलाक तो बिसी स्ट्रॉंग ब्रिगिना मोन दिगिना आहि जाबो सर एग्री अलग सेक्टर दे मान आरो आरडी द मोय आरडी मिनिस्टर के आरबी मिनिस्टर इतिया नाय मोय 15 फाइनेंस कमिशन लगा कुशन होती है खाली टीबले था पोषण टीबले था किसे खाली टीबो कर मोय लगा कुशन लैप्स हो है इटू तो पिया लाइन तो नहीं मिनिस्टर कंसर्न मिनिस्टर कुशन दिया दाम दे होले पर्सनल अटैक नेशनल ना भाभी को लगा तो पिल अपना कलें itu नहीं itu conscience bahi inaga kurile bhalna wahi khushin tiya ase tati ami khushin dise sir amar honorable chief minister ase tai RD minister to nine will be amar leader of the house itu knowledge thakibo gane ami tai ke hudise the amount of funds received from the 15th Finance Commission from the year 2023 till date. That is nil, no condition. Kindly provide the details of district-wide distribution of public funds. That's not arise. Like I said. Kindly provide the names of the beneficiaries and the name of the works purchased along with the amount based on district block wide. That's not arise. That means he is far away from the department. Piano hide itu bhal buta koise. Itu to iman inaga to no hoy kina. We all know that amahan to rural people asidu rural area people itu hani ase 15 finance commission to paisa do ile pc aise hole bi ati to nil does not arise in a idea ase achi khotam hoise itu moina de 15 finance commission now 16 finance commission kali april pa may ba start hoi jabo तो ताती ये 15 फाइनेंस कमीशन ते किमान फैलाइसे की असे इटु साइले जुटी अमर EMPO एरिया दोले ओला पिनाइ दे इटु कारणे इन এনেকুৱাটো নকৰিলে ভাল একি নাগালেণ্ড পাহাৰবোৰ কৰিলে ভাল আছে কৈ কিনা মই এইটো সোধাই আছে Number 2 Sir Speaker Sir ইয়াতে থাকা ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট দেবি সব জায়গাতে এইটো Victim Finance Commission laga aro routed through Government of India ba holibi routed through RT brahe ahi thakibu de to ahi thaga to etu bhag moi example ekta kobo ki department to hobi RT tehi ahibo rural people logo motap kuribi koi kana to RT brahe convergency kuri kena itu department tibo lagi inara jauh rural marketing RTDB ase agri ase sabta ase itu rural development through kuri kena aku itu rural people like example social welfare lo hobi itu 2080 amahange inaga pai North Eastern ke 80 jo hoile RD ba pabo lagibo social welfare department example 20 jo hoile tai olago lagibo social welfare department then 2 lakhs olago ekta angangwadi center kurubo bani poila to angangwadi center bi bhal ko puri kena puri chai ta gele ita to angangwadi center laga to ahai nai amangan ligi libi nati fun nai kurgina no tati itu 2 lakhs dibo 8 lakhs to RD ba aibo then angangwadi center ekta ponabo pani to 10 lakhs kotam okay sure enega kuri itu karne like example medical debi itu rural mission hill aro rural mission itu to rural koado horticulture debi agriculture debi enega aro ekta sir industry do ita amar honorable advisor Shramati Hikhani bishi bhal ko shuri kena chahiye ase tati hope ase itu aro agriculture khambi produce bishi kuribole koshis koroba lage kiman production ase itu sab to industry ke dibo lage aro industry ro agar skill development ki ase itu tati handloom handicraft ki ase inaga ko jabala tati revenue to ahe jabo aro ini sir olap time din itu amahan revenue bishi to kase revenue chief minister amar honorable chief minister ko pra mehne kurigina Nagaland solai ase moi ekpa itu pabi revenue ahibele jaga to NST revenue ahibele jaga itu power department revenue ahibele jaga water supply itu kan sab to revenue jaga hi ase tadi revenue to kinaga aibo itu department concern ekta monti kina revenue to anibo kani koshis koribo aru kinaga kurigile revenue to amahan jama koribo itu bhabana koribo lagibo amahan itu aji laga kiman pache ponase building construction inaga sab department inaga hoi ase কিন্তু development laga activity sabe development koribole to hoye olap nai building nai koi ituke tile develop koribole nai chief minister to pabi amar finance minister to pabi inaga jani ase administrative strong hobo lagi speaker sir etia itu bhambi sab to implementing part bishi bhalgo ahi jabo tai kan ge facilities piti kena kari nisna aro gari laga itu ki population itu kan bishi tol thaga kan itu kan be potai gana itu village council kan ke milai gana itu kan light laga water supply laga itu nisna revenue chutumu jama korile bi jati pung ki jai tamon hoi jab itu enaka korile amahan hambi ulap tu sas logo pari ko kui kenang moi itu phabi ase bisi bhal purise bisi bhal budget purise moi itu budget ke khushi ba moi participate kora iman daki kota moi.
We all are tired. This is the fourth day of the assembly. But we all have struggled so hard to come to this house to put forward our concern. And therefore, we are thankful to you for being liberal in your allocation of time. Well, before I go into the budget, I would like to appreciate the statement made by our Leader of the House, the Honorable CM, Dr. Nipirio, in the morning hour about the suggestion of having a delegation to meet the central leaders on the free movement regime. I think that statement was very encouraging, and I would like to welcome on behalf of my party. Well, I will not dwell too long. Many speakers have touched almost all the important points. I will only indulge in 5 para. I'll be very brief. Let me be candid in saying that this budget is a forward-looking budget, to be precise and put it in a nutshell. Nagas know only few English like politics, culture, work, speakers have, but in the new budget, in this budget, we have heard like drone, in artificial intelligence. These are new words which is in tune with the changing times. And therefore, I must appreciate our Honorable Chief Minister, who is also in charge of the Minister in charge of Finance. Well, let me come back to Para 2. Whenever I stand, I always start with this, the Naga political issue. Well, he has mentioned about the political parties coming together, forming an opposition-less government. Well, I would like to say that there are lots of opinion why there is no opposition in this 14th house. Well, for the Nagas, what we are yearning for at the moment is we all must come together. The entire strata of Naga society must come together for the honorable resolution of the Naga political issue. And this was one reason why all of us, irrespective of our political affiliations, have supported the leadership of our Honorable CM and also this present government. And therefore, we are leading by example. We are walking the talk precisely. And therefore, the rest of our other Naga national workers or the civil society must also copy from us that there is a unity, reconciliation required among our family. And the example is being shown by the 60 members here, irrespective of the political parties. In fact, during elections, we fight through various political platforms. And if you see the gravity of the situation during the time of election, we will not even talk face to face. We will not even face each other. That is the situation we go through. But after the election, we come back together for the sake of the Naga political issue. I would like to again remind the House that we must re-strengthen the 12th September 2024 resolution, where we have asked for the elevation of the political talk. This is not only with this present government. During the BJP regime also, Swaraj Ghoshal was the negotiator, who was also a political figure. Then during the UBA time, Congress time, they have appointed Oscar Fernandez, who was leading the ministerial team. So this is nothing new. And therefore, that resolution has to be reinforced, put in leather as well as in spirit. That is Para 2. I'll come back to Para 14. Honorable Speaker, sir. The Honorable CM was mentioning about some amount for the centrally sponsored scheme. This is about developmental outlay. I'll not go into the figure, but what I'm concerned is most of our projects doesn't get through on time. Either it is maybe because of the bureaucratic activism, or because of the inactiveness of the elected members who are in charge of the department. I have come across some of the press statements from our Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister, who is also the government spokesman, as well as our Honorable Deputy CM, National Highways and Planning and Coordination in some of the press statement saying that the government will be compelled to surrender some of the amount sanctioned for the development because we would not produce utilization certificate on time. We would not utilize the money which are being sanctioned for the development of the state. Who are we to blame, Speaker, sir? Is it we have to blame the bureaucrats or the elected members who are in charge of the department? How do we function? This is a big concern. When state has less revenue and when we are running short of money, and if we are to say that we have to surrender even the money given to us, how do we function, Speaker, sir? This is it's a grave, serious concern. I have come across some of the statements, which is it's a worrisome, and therefore I would like to put across this concern that this has to be looked into. Let me come back to para 24. I'm happy that the road maintenance budget has been increased a little bit. In the last financial year, we have been given only 35 lakhs. A constituency like me, Pandari, a very big constituency in terms of geographical areas as well as villages, more than 80, 90 villages, with 35 lakhs of amount in the road maintenance, how do we cover? And the monsoon is, the season is longer than any other states in India as far as Nagaland is concerned. And therefore, a little increase I have seen. I hope the department will use judiciously as well as the Honorable Minister, if situation improves, will accord more fund for the maintenance of the road. Let me come back to para 27. Para 27, I'm very interested on this because the magnanimity of the CM, out of the magnanimity of the Honorable CM, last year he has increased the local area development fund by putting more fund in the Iconic project. Well, I have a new proposition, Speaker, sir, that this local area development fund was introduced during 1991-92 when Led Vamuzo was the Chief Minister of Nagaland. It's an innovative idea, and later on, this was adopted by the whole India in the Member of Parliament Local Area Development Fund on the 23rd December 1993. I would like to again reiterate that year. It was introduced sometime in 1991-92 during you will find in the Finance Minister's speech during Vamuzo's time, during his CM's time. And adopted by the Delhi government, I mean the central government also. So he unfortunately passed away at a very young age. This year, it will be 25 years after his passing away. It's a 25th anniversary in March, this month itself. So I would like to propose to the government that this LADP may be named after him, Vamuzo Local Area Development Fund. In this morning's reply, Speaker, sir, in the Social Welfare Department, when I raised about the old age pension, I have found very interesting. It was such a coincidence that this old age pension fund is called the Budget for Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme. The name is given, the old age pension is given in the name of Indira Gandhi. I think it will be befitting if we can give the name, local area development, in the name of Vamuzo, and write to the central government that if the Member of Parliament Local Area Development Fund can be also named after him, it will be a big achievement for us. That's what I would like to suggest, and therefore this may be taken note of it seriously. And since this is the 25th anniversary of his passing away, my younger brother Penny Lam, he comes from Tonopnyu. He was telling me again and again that please, those who are elected from the urban areas, they may not have much difficulties even in terms of traveling, reaching out to the constituencies and the villages, remote areas, because we travel a long distance to reach out to our people. So if we can request our Honorable CM to increase a little bit for the rural areas in the LADP, I don't know whether there's any possibility, but this is what I would like to request the Leader of the House, Minister in charge of Finance. Let me come back to Para 42. I'm concluding, Speaker, sir. Para 42. The sectoral outlay in terms of budget allocation to the border, for the border development. This year, there's a huge chunk of increase from 3 CR to 15 CR. I think this is a step forward, which the Honorable CM has taken into consideration. In Assam, the annual budget is somewhere close to 300 crore for the border development. And that's how they have a lot of resources to protect those people who have settled in their Assam Nagaland borders, also the Meghalaya Assam borders, Arunachal Assam borders. Even in Nagaland Assam border, their sectoral allocation is 67 CR. Assam Nagaland border for development, forgetting about the others, even TC. So this is one concern which I have, and I'm happy that this year budget allocation in the border area has increased tremendously, and we need to focus on the development of the border area so that we save our oil, our mineral resources, and with all those objectives to take the state forward. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you for the time. I rise to take part in the discussion on the budget 2024-25. First of all, I would like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister and the Finance Minister, Dr. Nifirio, for presenting a statesman-like, futuristic, balanced, inclusive and pro-youth budget. This budget also reflects the Chief Minister's commitment to build capacities of our youth, focusing towards building academic and education excellence. I also take this time to thank him and congratulate him on the improvement of the estimated rupees 62.51 crore in the closing deficit for 24-25, in spite of the heavy financial challenges of the state. The leader of the House, since he became the Chief Minister in 2003, has been known as a youth-friendly Chief Minister, and he continues to do so. Today, in our budget, we can also see some very important initiatives for young people, like the Chief Minister's Microfinance Initiative to support local entrepreneurs, the Nagaland Skill Mission to train and provide employment opportunities to about 5,000 youth in sectors such as hospitality, logistics, tourism, banking and insurance, healthcare, logistics within this financial year. Also adapting to emerging technologies, the government will be launching the drone training and logistics program, the Chief Minister's Fellowship Program to nurture future leaders and policy innovators. Honorable Speaker, sir, for any state or nation to progress, develop and prosper, policies for economic growth has to be robust and in place. Everyone is worried about the unemployment problem, but unless the economy of the state is put in place, it will be very difficult for unemployment to be solved. Nagaland undeniably is a land of opportunities. The government and the people have wholeheartedly opened our doors, inviting private investors, private companies to come and do business with us. But for a long time, nothing concrete has actually taken place. Yes, it could be also because of the unresolved Naga political issue. But most importantly, when investors start talking to us, the first thing they asked is, what is Nagaland's industrial policy? And what can the government, what are the incentives that the government can offer? And this is where the discussion comes to a halt. Though it is not mentioned in the budget, I thought it very, very important to thank the Honorable Chief Minister and the Honorable colleague for passing, the Honorable Cabinet for passing the Nagaland Trade, Investment and Industrial Policy 2025 in the recent cabinet meeting. And I'm hopeful that this will definitely attract investors and it will also definitely benefit our local entrepreneurs. Many a times when I speak to my constituents and my people, I give a long speech, or rather I sit down and explain to them. The whole purpose being, me as a public for the entire part of my life and being this side of the fence only 2 years back, the question that all the time I would ask myself and public would ask is, government to kile poisa nai. Government never has fund. Government never has enough fund. But after coming this side of the fence, I have been privileged enough to be listening to our leader, our Honorable Chief Minister, and I'm slowly beginning to understand government kile poisa na thake. And this is also important because my office tells me that I spend too much time. But if I do not educate my constituents, if we do not educate our constituents, there's going to be a lot of communication gap, there's going to be a lot of suspicion on the government. Now I want to read out some numbers, and this I picked up from the PRS Legislative's report. Some numbers may there will be some variation with the present budget a little bit, but I had to stick to this report because I wanted to do a little bit of comparative study so that we all understand why it is important. Why is it important that our tax and our non-tax has to improve if our economy has to improve? The revenue receipt for 24-25. So in my understanding, in the past 2 years, I'm beginning to understand that there are 4 components for revenue. One is state's own tax, and number 2 is state's non-tax revenue, third is the central share, and fourth is the grant. I just want to focus in the first 2, state's own tax revenue and state's non-tax revenue, because this has been mentioned by Honorable Chief Minister in the budget as well in para 45. I'm picking up 2 or 3 states, northeastern states, because it's easier for comparison. Assam. Assam's own state is showing, own tax revenue is showing 34,149 crore, and non-tax revenue is 8,871 crore. Meghalaya, own tax revenue is 4,041 crores, non-tax revenue is 747. Coming to Nagaland, our own tax revenue is 1787 crores, non-tax revenue is 464. Out of this, Meghalaya's totaling own tax and non-tax, the total is 4,787 crores, which is about 21%. Assam's total is 43,020 crores, which is about 38% of the total revenue. And Nagaland, according to our budget, it is showing 13%. My calculation, according to the PRS report, shows 2,251. And this is where I want to stop a bit and ponder on it. This morning, we have already had a discussion under Rule 50, exploration of petroleum. When we look at Assam, we're talking about Assam all the time. Now, when we look at Assam, Assam's revenue, like I mentioned, is almost 39% of the total revenue receipt. According to the Economic Survey of Assam 23-24, it states the major component of non-tax revenue is royalty on petroleum crude. Other items in this categories are royalties on coal and gas, receipts from interest and dividends, and forest produce. We have heard from honorable speakers in the morning how much our revenue is going away to the neighboring states. And if you look at all the non-tax revenue in any parts of the states, it is because of of the exploration of how much advantage they are taking of their natural resources. Whereas in Nagaland is one of the lowest in the country, and it's at 464 according to this report. When we look at the revenue and expenditure, capital expenditure, I'll just talk about Nagaland. According to this report, 16,893 crores is spent on revenue expenditure, that is the pension and salary. And at the end of your debt repayment, loans, etc., we remained with only rupees 2,591, which is approximately only 11% of the total budget that is towards development. So when my people come, I have to explain this to them. Otherwise, like I mentioned, people are also taking advantage of this miscommunication. People are also taking advantage. The other elements are also, recently, a couple of days back, some political party trying to take advantage of the ignorance of our public, accusing the government of misappropriation of funds. And, and as long as this suspicion between the government and the public are there, we will never be able to go forward together. So I want to take two examples of how, when the ecosystem is put in place, government cannot take care of each and every individually, especially in the economic terms. But if the government put the ecosystem in place, everything falls in place, the economy tends to grow. And two examples I want to highlight this evening. Nagaland Startup Policy 2019, which was read out by our Honorable Chief Minister in the budget speech. About 4.5 crore has been sanctioned so far after this policy came into place, with 1.5 crore in the first year, 2021, and subsequently 1 crore each in the past 3 years, and this year also in the budget it's been placed. Today there are 5 incubation centers under Nagaland Startup. Just taking 2 incubation centers, it has about 380 startups registered under 2 incubation centers. And this 2 incubation center has generated a total revenue of about rupees 58 crore in 1 year, in the year 23-24, and has generated jobs of about 1,000. On a national average, startups usually can generate up to 10 jobs. But here, taking the lower side, assuming one enterprise generates 6 jobs, if you total up, it's coming up to almost 1,000 jobs. The other example, a beautiful handloom and handicraft pavilion has been set up in Kisama, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Chief Minister during the Hornbill. This has been completed in a record time of 4 months with a budget of 15 crore. 10 crore supported by Ministry of Textiles and 5 crore supported by Government of Nagaland. A total of 132 stalls were set up, where products of local artisans, local weavers, food entrepreneurs, and different type of local entrepreneurs set up the stalls. And in 10 days, a revenue generation to the tune of rupees 3 crores 13 lakhs 43,000 was generated. In 10 days, the department plans to utilize this facility throughout the year beyond Hornbill as well, and hoping that in 3 years' time, this investment will have a break even. So these are just the 2 examples, small examples, and there's so many other initiatives under Honorable Chief Minister. Different departments are working on it, but I just want to close my sharing by reminding this house, this August House once again, and the government once again, that when we create the right policy, when we create the right ecosystem, when we invest in infrastructure, it supports in raising the state's economy. I can confidently say that all the members here, given different assignments, we are all working very hard to make sure that our state develops and our people prosper. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Last night, when the budget speech of our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Nefer Yogi, reached my home, I was reading through the whole budget speech. And I would like to, first of all, congratulate our Honorable Chief Minister and also who is the Finance Minister for resonating the need of the times of Nagaland today through this budget of 2025-26 to start. I've many a times, under Honorable Dr. Nefer Yogi's leadership, people like Madam Hekani ji, Brother Tongbang, myself, and a few of the young hosts that are here, we try to imagine a lot of things, and we also see how the proceedings have happened, and I'm privileged to be at the 14th Legislative Assembly too. If we look at this budget of 2025-26, starting from the Naga political issue to the FNTA, I believe that the budget presented has been completely honest to the core of the needs and also the vision of the Honorable Finance Minister, who is also our Chief Minister. In such a scenario like Nagaland, our state, when our own state share of revenue is quite low, and when people question, like Honorable Advisor Madam Hekani has said, why does the government not have money? It is the responsibility of all of us who are the lawmakers today and also the citizens of our state. When other states are able to pay their taxes, we don't want to pay our taxes. When other non-Naga government servants pay 30% or 20% of their salary in taxes, we, the Naga officers and our government employees, think that it is our right not to pay any taxes. Honorable Speaker, sir, we believe that in the 22nd century, as we move forward, the economic stability of the state is of utmost importance. And also my suggestion, Honorable Speaker, sir, is that we look towards generating more revenues. As I was going through, the Honorable Chief Minister has taken consideration on how to increase our taxes, and has also appealed that every citizen to demand GST cash memos for transactions to enhance transparency and curb tax evasion. This looks like a very small part of the budget speech, but the biggest issue comes when, including us, we do not understand the value of putting GST input to our state. Just a small example. Many of the heavy machineries that Naga's contractors are using, except a few of them, their GST input is in the state of their origin. I was just inquiring a few weeks ago on a crusher machine which was costing around 5 crore 40 lakhs. And the total GST that was coming was around 78, 79 lakhs. And I was asking, where is your GST registered? It is registered in Hyderabad. So we pay them and the GST input goes to Telangana. And it comes to us. Likewise, in the purchase and in our works, what the Honorable Chief Minister, our Finance Minister, has appealed to is we as honorable legislators too, starting from us to all the houses, we need to make sure, as departments also, that the GST input should be put to our department GST or to the state. The registered firm, we should request and make sure that provisions are made that those firms have their GST registered in Nagaland through proper, whatever categories are there. Honorable Advisor, Madam Hekani has already shared about the holistic design of having a lot of inputs towards the youth. Lots of amount of money has been put on creating the facilities, especially in the Youth Resources Department. Facilities to create the infrastructure needed for our people, for our youngsters to grow in tandem with the demands of the rest of the country and the world. Sporting events like the NSL has been very well conducted and it is doing very well. When we see youngsters coming through various clubs and playing their best and sweating out on the grounds, it is indeed a remarkable vision and an achievement for our youngsters to not loiter around and get into sportsmanship as a profession and also a way of life. We also have come to know that many such sporting events will be held, even wrestling championships and all. And that is the trajectory we would like to appreciate, that the government of the day takes the steps towards sporting infrastructure and impetus on the youth is there. Honorable Speaker, sir, I would really like to congratulate especially the Land Resources Department for its initiative on the Naga coffee. Here also, we see how they are growing up with the input on the quality of the coffee and the number of hectares being cultivated. Today, whenever we go outside, Nagaland is known for its coffee also. Many leaders in Delhi, many barons of corporates, they take appreciation in the fact that Nagaland gives out as its cash crop one of the best coffee in the world. Today exported throughout, and even among the Naga youth, we are transforming from tea to drinking black coffee and coffee. Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, sir, for your input more towards the land resources and also the agri and allied sector. Honorable Speaker, sir, needless to say, the holistic approach of the 25-26 budget, agri and allied being one of the most important livelihood, 60 to 70% of our people working through agri as farmers. The right budget has been put for the right initiative. There is balance in the need of the people towards agri and horticulture and land resources, which is the strength of our state to have our economic stability for the farmers and the villagers. Equal amount of impetus have been put on the road sector. state budget of around 1,200 crores, how much more can we expect? With thousands of kilometers of state roads, our villagers, one village to go to one panikheti, we need 4 or 5 roads. Everyone wants the road to go through our own farms and fields. And yet, today we see an all-time input in the road sector in this budget. Sir, lastly, just to conclude, the school education and the education sector, whether it's higher or technical. Sir, the Honorable Chief Minister, who is our Finance Minister also, have been putting the right budget through these many years. Today, I would also like to appreciate the Honorable Minister in charge, who is our Honorable Chief Minister and the Advisor for School Education, for the bold initiative for the rationalization of the teachers. Sir, we know that there will be some small problems here and there. I actually requested the Honorable Advisor, Dr. Yome, that he should rationalize 30th Alongtake constituency first. We have 37 villages and the needs are most. But yet, as we know the impetus of teachers and students ratio, we believe in the wisdom of the department to rationalize it genuinely for all of us, and we hope that this will be done well. Technical education, even though I'm not the minister in charge of technical education, today outside also our SKK students fraternity, they have been agitating for an engineering college to be upgraded. I remember during the 13th Legislative Assembly, when Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Neferio had also given me charge for technical education for approximately 19 months or 20 months, the NBA, the National Board of Accreditation, was somehow done. The department had worked tirelessly for that, and that was a prerequisite need for that to be done. And we have loads of issues. Sometimes we feel that by just demanding it, we'll get it. But Delhi, the AICT, has various criteria for that. And for that, through this platform, I would also like to appeal to the students community that the technical education department will surely work hard and work hard towards it, but yet they have to be a little bit patient and see that those criteria are met. Personally, I want to thank Honorable Chief Minister and for his belief in the tourism department as an industry. The 25th year edition of the Hornbill Festival was a grand success. And with lakhs of tourists coming into our state, we have been as a people able to resonate properly to the world. And the allocation to tourism has been an all-time best. We look forward to doing it well. And even for my own Department of Higher Education, Honorable Chief Minister, sir, your input as the Finance Minister towards higher education activities have been able to have a positive impact on the gross enrollment ratio of the students in Nagaland. Today, the government colleges, their cutoff is higher than the many private colleges. We look forward for inclusive growth together with the in higher education with the private sector also and with the government sector also. NAC accreditation, we have been able to cover 36 colleges out of the 71 colleges in Nagaland. And government colleges, we are accredited 90%, and we are moving forward to seeing better things. Sir, Honorable Speaker, sir, I would support the initiative of the Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Nephew Rio, who is our Finance Minister in charge also for the budget 2025-26. We look forward that this year would be a blessed year and we'll be able to work and weave through all these things inclusively, all of us together for the prosperity of our people of our state, Nagaland. Thank you.
Opportunity to participate in the budget delivered by our Honorable Chief Minister. Sir, firstly, I want to congratulate our Honorable Chief Minister for confirming the doctorate of the leaders. He is the most special because he have achieved when he is in the Chief Ministership 2025. And this house, we have got the 3 doctorate, the Chief Minister. We are very lucky that this house can have a doctorate of Dr. Esi Jamil, Dr. Hoksi Shima, and our Dr. Nephew Ryu. So we are very glad and we are very happy that this Nagaland Assembly, we have got 3 doctors of Chief Minister. Sir, Kotado Bishikoble Nai, Holibi Mohan Naga, into Naga Wagene, into Wagene, Factioni Bishi into Hoyase, into Laga Lok Disago. Kilele, into Naga political issue to solution no ato, not our common failure. Mohan common la fail no. Taihani negotiate no great, Taihani loble monna, Aro Mohani Yati Guine, Mohan 60 house to Guine, no other public Hani Guine to solution Hobolaki, solution Hobolaki Guine, Mohani Guase. They never mind about what is solution. It is not a political group can do the solution to Janina, Nejane. 2023-24, Yadi budget speech in our Guinese. Here, having said that the time is more than appropriate for all the sections of the Nagas come together under the umbrella of understanding and oneness so that we collectively work together, realizing of early solution. Ado 23-24 budget te koise. Aro 24-25 budget te koise yade. This house, August House has passed a number of resolutions over the years, and we have held broad-based consolidated meeting with the civil society organization and stakeholder on several occasions. Yet a conclusive outcome continue to elude us. Yadi the 2024 the budget na apa koise. Aro itu saldo ki koisle this house and every honorable member of this assembly stand united in one voice for lasting peace, setting aside the political differences. And we have come together for the greater cause of unity and reconciliation. Emanda lise idiadapi ikunuhai. Aro mohan assembly kaldi, yati emile khani kalde, yati public kan koyase mohan ke minjise. Aro advisor itu kan tu kuno hai, mohon emile kan tu opposition less emile pera se na boy. Mohon kere nagai, opposition less emile pera se boy ne, mohon de ekdom surambi bay. We are together for naga solution. Solution tu kina hobo, mohon kina develop hobo boy ne we came together. Jadi likhan isna we came together. Itu naga solution tu, itu nisna hoya se. Idia Jews kan, Israel kan, tahan boleh je, tahan laga king do junam mukanai, tahan laga king do junam koplea se, ina boleh thake. Aro mohan naga bendo naga sa hoping for early solution, joldi itu solution koplea se, joldi hobo koi. Israel kan do tahan laga king junam panai, ang do panai, aro mohan do solution do joldi hobo koi ne. Itu nisna mohando time you tell us truth that they don't want solution. And now we will go for better development activities. Itu kota kuabra mohan naga solution laga koi gini
mohan itu hamburger bisi kure ase post de chaile bi itu khor de chaile bi itu ko jaga de chaile bi ha itu nisna enaka hoy ase itu karone mohan itu assembly do without opposition less kura do for the cause of the Nagas mohan itu kura ase itu karone manu khan do mohan ke hangji ase mohan khonya khan do bisi style kuri do kinaga style kuri koi dibo style kura do mohan khonya mana bisi style kura do itu black goggles na chusma khala loigine rati devi itu chusma haligini pere khali ekdam style kura itu nisna mohan khonya style ho nisna ase rati devi kala chusma haligini pere ase bisi style kunu rukun kini lua itu nisna mohan itu hoy ase itu karone I think what the budget we have given by Honorable Chief Minister, ekdam phala ase mohan honorable hobo lage inclusive hobo lage acceptable to the people itu mohan hutai din itu koi ase itu iman kwa do dai khan bi aro negotiator khan bi olap to mohan ke bi morang gurule phala ase itu koi ase aro para yare para 3 days sir mohan EMBU khan bisi khushi pai gina ase very happy to the government state government under the leadership of our Chief Minister Dr. Nephew Ryu kinele mohan bisi kotha koi thakisle edu ta khan EMBU khan bhabna korise sita Delhi re jabo Delhi re jai gina loye ahe gine edu EMBU de state pabo union pabo ki pabo ina koi thakile moi khan koise ina no state government through hobo koise no hoy moi khan direct Delhi pra pable ase koi gine ina ko ne moi khan EMBU khan ina thakise only last the EMBU realize through state ki hobo lage wadam de state government do itu to thik ase itu the trap MOU tia do moi khan reply kuri dibo gine state government aro cabinet khan under the leadership of Chief Minister itu government get India government get dia do ida EMBU khan to khushi pai gine ase aro tia express happiness gratitude kuri ase kilele mo khan itu karne mo khan MP election de bi kurana aro ULP election bi kurana mo khan enlo Eastern Nagaland legislative union mo khan tondi aro EMBU mo khan jagra guri rakhise itu khan ke apni khan da hangji rakhise ena when the last leader we came to the third we came to the understanding in our way aro bisi ba Chief Minister ke khushi pa do EMBU khan enlo khan apni khan EMBU ke kotha gobi apna reply koribi nai kotha koribi he also so determined that we should negotiate with the EMBU enlo khan tondi emli do ena kotha koi ne mo khan idia do ekdam bhalo hoise yati likha governor laga address se ekdam bhalo hoise substantial progress has been made and we are hopeful that any remaining concern of the EMBU will be addressed. Any remaining concern, either EMBU have to jani the word, a man bhal likise. Aro yadi governor, yadi budget speech te likise, yadi ina likise. The voice of our brothers and sisters in the eastern region had been clearly heard. Ekdam bhal ko honi je kwa, EMBU have ida bhal ko honi bola de dia. And our government is resolutely committed to addressing their concern with sincere action. Ina likhi dia do ki ho lebi ekta to pabuni ki koigine government primary recommend dia do we the people of Eastern ido you can be khushi pa ase aro yati mohan leader convener elola convener Sri Paiwang Honorable Minister Health and Family Welfare Taira lead kurine we have so far we have been negotiating aro apni kan emam phal ki dia do mo khambi lo khambi appreciate kuri ase aro our people Eastern EMBU khambi khushi pa ase aro they are working on the track yadi sir ekdam khushi pable do ido para 4 de ekdam bhal likhi dise ido meruli subdivision do district pagane ekdam our Chief Minister, our cabinet, our government, ekdam congratulate kuri ase aro especially Mokhala advisor MLA pek la meruli la bisi khushi pai ka ko yati likhi dise ekdam bha the meruli is land of fortune. Etam bhal lagi di. Itu kan mo kami itu punya kan itu clear hoise, clear hoa tu tahu apa ya orang tigit ina wani tigit ni aje. Mo kan tahu ke tigit itu, I think our chief minister will declare that tahu was a land of happiness. Etam bisik, land of happiness. Aro itu tiada will become the land of fighting. Itu tahu the land of fighting hujab. Itu kan ni, olap joldi di land of happiness olap na. Itu tu joldi problem mana sebab ini. So this budget is a skilling in employment-led growth. Our Nagaland is skill. Etam bhala se. Our makan itu ra, makan bisi jawab se. Short te gobo bisi alti hoi jai se. Yade. Yade especially para 14 de. The total development outlay including CSS. Rupees 5,819.25 crore. Itu state laga do 1,200 crore by increase of 190 crore. The continued growth of 18.81%. Itu current year naga asset 2024-25. Aro itu coming 25-26 to it ya 18 hoise kijani will be double or will be increasing. Aro sir. Yade road and bridge de short go road and bridge department get maintenance of existing road pusato tigina se ini moi bhavna olap to sutu hoisini ki mohan manubra one is na I'm more happy in a way olap khushi paise bole I'm more happy is na olap increase to hoisle holibi yati summer season Nagaland start waro it start from May to December. Landslide kuri nagibo. Moham bani laga landslide tu nisai kini Dimapur tu Kohima laga landslide nisai moham bani laga tu chablin na pare no. They're already blocked. So inaga asle. Itu kan itu existing road laga tu arubi thagile. Juti kompa tamte additional thagile dile tu moham bani babo. Aro thaki tu yati Japanese na dige. Idiabi ekdom landslide kuri asido. Ola pani aile do aro Dimapur Kohima mati to ni mati to ni giri ase. Clearly that mud is so loose. It is consist of this clay. Itu taxi pina laga mati ase do. Taxi pina laga mati de naga giri rago. We cannot blame to the government also. Itu mati pia ase. Itu karne road and bridge te pia ro summer do ini bi itu satu bisi pani ahi mo se prediction dia. Patana ora kan pina. Nagaland for Christ koi pani laga patana bisi pura ase. Itu karne itu pani tu bisi ahi pun nisna se aro bi ulok bisi di leda phalo buni ki koi ne. Aro especially I would like to thank our Chief Minister for providing for construction of this Kodam at Taubu under food and service supplies. Itu ekdom tok pai thak je to Monbra 124 pokhible do bisi tikta se koi ne ya do itu dikina se. Holi bi yati ekta se ekdom no pungja do. Idia do mo khan tu panabo. Holi bi FCI khan do ta khan Taubu de pungja dibo lage. Itu Taubu de pungja le noile de itu pongnu de pungja le ina ole itu khable parbo. Ida Kodam do panai se aro Monbra pokhigini do konbra hego. Kongsa kam pokhigini Taubu de pungjabo. Aro ta debra Taubu bra aro kongsa kam pokhigini chable tu no hobo. Itu kane itu FCI khan ke itu do Taubu de pungja de. Kilo le Taubu de sab jaga de ase de moi busti de 220 pack pai. 50 kg la 220 pai. Itu laga pokhible do itu to tata duida de pokhibole tata ekta de. Itu bra itu higher rokiman ase 40,000 ase. Itu ra kongsa khan do ki kure ase itu to loble cha do itu pike kuri de. Ar pokhigina aibo lagi do na. Itu ra ta khan do ini 50 pack is na ro pike kuri dibo. Aro itu poisa bra do tata ke dibo higher kuri ne aibo. Aro busti itu phapura do olop to pai ase khaya ase. Bole aro bi itu olop destiny sheet do change kuri ne itu department ke motap kuri ne itu do aro bisi penai ne na kuri le da phalo buni ki koi na suggestion ekta dia ase. Aro itu under tourism we are grateful to the honorable Chief Minister. Moham monde do khoja heritage complex koi ne dise. Aro our Chief Minister do dam free padam do ahigni chopobra ahigni saigni ja inspection bisi kuri ase. Aro ekdam bhal develop kore ase etu karone the people of Phunak particularly we are thankful to our Chief Minister for constructing this Naga Heritage Phunak Heritage Complex enaga asle etu karone idia ekdam tiaru bisha je aro mogan MLA khange honorable MLA khango division etu ADC headquarter khange do etu multi bifurcated etu multidiscipline into stadium khan aro etu fossil ground khan ena khan bi dise tobu khan bi dise etu pura bisi kusi ba sir under 33 para 33 health and family welfare laga ekta kotha yati CM laga on tiado CMS aro CMLS etu khan dia ase ekdam bala ase holi bi department laga ekta problem ekta ase ida ro public khan do etu CM laga card loi jaigene noile Ayushman card loi no hospital le jaro te ke lot of condition ekdam khushi bai holi bi tati ekta problem ase mohan rural phale etu hospital kan panel kuse tati ekta problem ase mission do nai ro etu gari etu medical department ke to mission ki nibele dile phala ase example ko bo mohan tabu de etu komba mano to huningin daro ekta mano to bima ase ta hiya ko ta Ayushman card aro CM laga card pi ase Jagino hospital do takido topu CSC do itu tekeno transit kurben na pare itu rata itu manu do doctor so do jagine tai do dimapur de treatment jable monase itu card loi jene doctor sa moi de dimapur de treatment jable ase holi bi moi ke de posa nai moi la card de 5 lakhs ase itu kami itu 5 lakhs to apna loi lobi moi ke de 50,000 ni tibi itu loi ke di ma border treatment jabo mohan to bude na boise so they started selling even the CMS card aro itu kan dia na to bude di ma border ahile to itu posa lagi do na thaka to ase holi bi pigir ko doctor ke apna kini lobi 5 lakhs ase moi ke 50,000 ni tibi emang bhal na so honest itu nisna itu medical department ke bi itu kan implement kurule to ola poisa to bisi dile phalo boni ki koine itu bhabna kure ase aro para 37 de urban development de to poisa itu tamda mangi daga to bisi dise 25 crore is allotted for maintenance urban road kile lo PWD and lo ida da town planning lo koine urban ke di dise ida to deko 25 lakhs I think our advisor no era phalo dibobla koine ida do town road bi phalo bo koine itu bhabna ekta asle thank you for allotting the fund so lastly to sa public ku nai yati 44 de para 44 de there will be streamlined submission of proposal and ensure timely release of fund department are advised to be implementation ready itu ko aro ekdam kotha tangwa one India is nabi itu soal the department kan to kam nukurani sina bali bi implementing ready guru kile ida da kompa to 2024 25 la pa ne do ida da pu sanction no kompa to ten devi ho ne do na so our chief minister had led in a budget that implementing ready from the beginning of the financial year wado ekdam bhal kotha ase scheme bisi ali to poisa to joldi pabo emli honorable emli hambi work pe joldi kam kuru bo ne bhabna itu ekta ase honorable speaker sir ida do the last day I go kilele yade our own tax and non tax revenues contribute to 13% itu 13% itu sada hoise aro if we do more itu ini kobo taxes excise power aro transport PHE aro police itu kan pra ekdom contribution itu tax to phal ko dile do 13% noy gene ki jane 113 bi hobo bi bare de itu department kan kurule do for any example TCS 13% so we may increase to so 30% also speaker sir ida do khatam hoya je last yadi budget the last ase yadi budget te itu 48 te ekdam bhal hoise kile de itu saldo 47 de 60 rupees 62.57 crore itu mohan estimate improve policy wa itu 2023-24 de yati salary negative 40 crore thakise aro 23 24-25 though, we had a 19.83 crore negative. Aro it is how though it is a zero. Actum improve hoise, actum how budget hoise. Now we'll start a good budget. So lastly, I support the budget delivered by Honorable Chief Minister, Minister in charge of Finance. Thank you.
My concluding remarks on general discussion on the budget for the year 2025-26. Members of the House, firstly, I extend my sincere appreciation to the honorable members who had actively participated and given their opinions, views, appreciations, and also few queries. I want to extend my appreciation and thanks for their participation, namely Sri Imkong Imchun, Srimati Ekani Jagalu Kense, Sri Temjen Imna Along, Sri T.N. Manen, Sri Achumbe Mukikon, Sri Nimne N. Konyak, Sri Dr. Sugato A. Sema, Sri G. Igato Zimomi, Dr. Nisatu Meru, and Naiba Konyak. On the issue of Naga political issue, most of the members has touched during question hours and also during governor's address discussion. So the matter has been discussed and debated thoroughly, and therefore I shall not dwell at length. However, as pointed out by the honorable member, Sri L. Imkong Imchen, the proliferation of factions is a matter of grave concern, and the issue will be brought to the notice of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Honorable members, L. Imkong Imchen suggested sharing of government's draft comments with this August House in respect of FNTA, the third draft of Memorandum of Settlement with respect to FNTA, Frontier Nagaland Territory Authority, was shared with the state government for comments. As mentioned in my speech, the state government has approved and forwarded the state government comments to Home Ministry. On 6 November 2024, discussion on the comments of the state government are being held between the representative of the ENPO, state government and MHA. The House shall be taken into confidence in due course of time and the appropriate time. But since it is in the initial stage, it has not been brought. Regarding our memorandum to the 16th Finance Commission, we have made our case and the conditions of the 16-point agreement inserted in Article 371A was highlighted in the Commission in our memorandum. We expect that the award of the Commission will be favorable. In the preceding years of government had concentrated on welfare measures such as CMHIS, CMLIS, along with the CMMFI. This has really benefited the citizens during their time of distress and needs. In the coming years, these welfare schemes will continue and adequate budgetary provisions have been provided. This year's budget goes beyond the welfare measures and targeted economic growth aimed at employment generation considering that unemployment has become one of the most concerning challenges today. Before I go into this topic, I assure the Honorable Member, Dr. Sokato, regarding the delay payment to the hospitals for the Chief Minister Health Insurance schemes. We will discuss with the insurance company and we'll see that it should be paid on time. Speaker, sir, it is my belief that budget should not be just allocation and distribution of funds among the departments, but an instrument to spur economic growth so that the citizen benefits through increased incomes leading to higher standard of living. Therefore, in this budget, I have announced a number of new initiatives as highlighted, enumerated in my budget speech. A Nagaland Skill Mission. These issues some of you have also touched and given your appreciations and also a positive comments. I just want to highlight once more so that we are aware and also take advantage with helping and guiding the people. The Nagaland Skill Mission aims to train 5,000 youth in the financial year 2025-2026 in self-employment and private sector's employment with entrepreneurship linked to CMMFI. The mission aims to train and place 5,000 youth in a one-year period with a special focus on emerging industries such as hospitality, tourism, healthcare, logistics, and skilled trade, especially in the construction sector, plumbing, electrician, mason, heavy machineries operations. Under this concessional loan will also be provided to support 500 homestays and 200 transport units under Chief Minister Microfinancing Initiative. B. Living Morong Initiatives. The Living Morong Initiative aims to revitalize and preserve traditional Naga culture and traditions. In my budget speech, I had mentioned about how the morong should be used in the villages where storytellings or the poems and all these rich culture and tradition should be taught to the people, particularly the younger ones. C. Nagaland State Solar Power Vision. To address Nagaland energy deficit, the state solar power vision will provide by the state subsidy of rupees 20,000 per kilowatt, kept at 50,000 per beneficiaries. That means any individual can use this and get the benefit. Drone Training Center. Well, today in the modern world, this drone has been used very largely in flying and locating the targeted places and bombing. But our drone training center is to transport in emergency time or when there is landslip or communication is difficult and become costly. This will become very easy and then will be very cheap. So the new drone training initiative built on this and will provide job-linked training programs in collaboration with private partners for employment-oriented certified training such as drone pilot, drone service technicians, drone software developers, drone survey master, drone surveillance masters. E. Expansion expanding banking access to on-bank block. The government will support infrastructure development for approach road and Pakka buildings to facilitate long-term leasing to banks in on-bank block. Further, wherever a bank opens a new branch in an on-bank block, the government will facilitate that all possible government transactions in that block will be routed through that bank, so that there's transaction and the people should have a kind of bank culture. Then F, capacity building of local bodies and public servants. Aim at enhancing governance efficiency. This initiative will provide structured training for municipal bodies, village councils, government officers to enhance their efficiencies. G, Chief Minister Fellowship Program to develop future leaders of the state among the youth. Modernization industry. This is also one of the new initiatives. Government will initiate the introduction of a fleet of over 40 buses to the Nagaland State Transport NST this year with improvement of amenities in NST stations. I, fast tracking development in interstate border areas. A fast track the developmental needs of villages in the interstate border areas. New initiative is taken by the government in the current budget with an allocation of 15 crores. This initiative will focus on creation of vital amenities such as building, roads, power, and water supply. And if need arises, we'll see that even other facilities or funding will be provided. Some members have raised the issue of inadequate of fund for road sector in their constituencies. It is acknowledged that the fund provided is insufficient, but the allocations been distributed as far as possible, as per existing land in each divisions. I thank the honorable members, Srimati Hekani Jakalukense, for highlighting the positive step by the government on emphasis on youth-friendly initiatives, the importance of industrial policy, the startup policy, of the growth of the state economy, and I would like to congratulate her for her proactive role as advisor in the Department of Industries and Commerce. Under the leadership, state's industrial policy have been approved in the cabinet. Moreover, under her, the Nagaland startup policy is taking shape and many startups have taken off. I would like also to congratulate Tamjin Imnalong for ably organizing the 25th edition of Hornbill Festival, which is the best we have seen in this 25 years. Celebration was great, and we had got appreciation from all our country partners, embassies, and the tourists, and I have received few messages also, and also had discussion on that. Speaker Sir, Honorable Member Sri A. Nimni Konyak has raised some pertinent issues, which I would like to make little mention. Yes, I'm aware that his question could not be taken up because of time constraint. And he has asked about the 15th Finance Award for Rural Local Bodies grant. Unfortunately, there are 3 conditions, prerequisite for availing funds. One is 25% audit online of RLB rural local bodies as per guidelines. 2 is uploading of provisional accounts. That also list should be 25%. These 2, though started, it is 25%, but at least they had made some commitment and fulfilling. But uploading of plans, it could not be fulfilled. Since the Panchayat profile could not be updated, there is a column where we have to fill up the detail of the Panchayat election. We cannot proceed with the uploading of plans in the e-Gram Swaraj portal. In this regard, a letter has been sent to the ministry to rectify these issues in the portal. Because we are exempted from the rural local bodies, the 73rd Amendment. Our system is not Panchayati Raj. We are village council. The other day I mentioned in one of the meetings, many of the leaders, civil societies also, even ourselves, people still call, we will have meeting in Panchayat Hall. It is wrong. We are going to have meeting in village council hall. It is not Panchayat. We are exempted. And that's how our village council is not election but selection. And so we could not be fulfilled. I cannot blame the department fully because our system is different. We are exempted. But the ministry don't understand and we have not taken up on time. Anyway, in this regard, a letter has been sent to the ministry to rectify these issues in the portal. The ministry has assured us that these issues will be resolved at the earliest. And I hope that this will see the light of the day. He also raised the issue on a special initiative needed for the agri and allied sector under missions for integrated development of horti. And the horti department has identified 32 horticulture model villages for growing exotic fruits and commercial crops that can be grown according to climate condition and soil feasibility, like kiwi, dragon fruits, your avocado, and persimmon, and also many exotic fruits which are doing very well. Model villages were identified with purpose of one crop, one village to encourage production. Well, it can be or it cannot, even we can relax also even for other crops if there are alternatives. Regarding Naga coffee, the state has expanded and the plantation area and has successfully increased export of 18 metric tons outside the country between 2020-2023 and 48 metric tons was traded in 2024. And Ikoto had elaborately explained, and I'm happy to learn that there will be a coffee exhibition in Istanbul. I hope our team will do well and I wish them all the best. Honorable Member Sri Achumbe Mokikon has enlightened the House about the Local Area Development Fund initiative of Nagaland and its subsequent adoption across India, particularly in the Parliament. The concern of delayed execution of CSS projects have been flagged and the state has already initiated Nagaland e-proposal system for streamlining submission of proposals, timely release of funds, and execution as mentioned in the budget, I've asked the department to be implementation ready. Honorable members, your participation, you have appreciated this implementation ready. Because when funds come from Government of India, the Finance Department is allowed only to hold 30 days. And if you get beyond that, the penalty is imposed. And you have to pay interest outside the penalty also. But when the fund is released to the department cannot keep the money in the department. You have to spend it. And if you don't spend, then the ministry will ask to surrender the money with interest. Therefore, it is not like those days. The other day in the NEC meeting also, I raised this issue. Now for 2024-25, March ending is come. But we are yet to get our allocations, the project we had submitted, both in donor and NEC. So that means this 2024-25 money, if it comes during ending March, we'll be spending this year money to next year. But since it will come only in March, then we'll do paperwork by April, May, June. Then after your paperwork is done during working season, then the monsoon comes, you have to wait for July, August, September, October. And then that means you are not going to spend this money, last year's money, this year also. And it will spill out over to next year also. And therefore, some departments who are not being able to utilize their funds, it is decided that we will not accept your proposals. You have to use that 1 year fund for, you want to work for 1 year, 2 years or 3 years, that you have to think of. On the issue of increase of LADP raised by Achumbemo, I think those will be discussed, and we are grateful that late Mr. Wamzo, the former Chief Minister, he did a lot of good things for the farmers. Even VDB was his brainchild, and even LDP, this was also. I was in the government and I was in the cabinet. And when this proposal came, some bureaucrats said, this is not possible. Fund cannot be given to the elected. This will not be accepted. So there were a lot of debates, but it is a political will, and we said we will implement this. So we had done it, and this was adopted, taken very well. Even the Indian Parliament also had agreed, and it is, we are very proud of him. But for all those discussion, we have taken note of, but that needs discussion because it becomes a policy. On the issue of CMHIS flagged by members, the government is aware of these issues, and there is claims and counterclaims by the insurance agency and private hospitals. The dispute cases are being examined by the State Medical Committee for CHMIS and PMGAY, and this will be placed before the Nagaland Medical Council. So if there is any dispute, if there is no dispute, I think payment should be no delay. So the beneficiaries, the patients and the family members, the doctors and the staffs should be very careful in this so that the benefit go to the patients, and then everybody should facilitate that. That is my request. And I will see that government will go into details and see that there is no stumbling blocks. Coming to the finances of the state and on the issue of GST raised by the members, the department is also of the opinion that the GST collection can be improved, and towards this, as mentioned in the budget, the government is establishing RFID reading posts to ensure all commercial vehicles transporting goods are complying with GST regime and the GST is collected. The Tax Department is also establishing a research and analysis wing to properly analyze tax data, detect evasion pattern and optimize revenue collections. The accumulated deficit of the state stood at rupees 1,630.67 crores. 1,630.67 crores during the budget of 2018-19. Though there were variation during COVID years with an increase to 2,679 crores in 2001-2002. The state has been consistently bringing down the revenue deficit over the past few years, bringing down to the value to the 843.21 crores, which is a considerable achievement as mentioned in the financial year 2024-25. We have been able to reduce the accumulated deficit by 62.57 crores. And in this, from 2018-2019 to 2024-25, we have reduced 50% of our deficit, and that is reduced by 787.46 crores, that is 50%. And many of the honorable speakers who participated in the discussion given an appreciation. This is a joint effort. Our officers, collectors, and also the support and the cooperation of our honorable members, and now realizing by the business community, even our local contractor, supplier, business people, few highest taxpayers, Naga business people, they are paying up to 10 to 20 crores annually. So our appreciation to our local who are doing well, and even people, non-Nagas who are doing, they are giving a huge contribution. I hope they will take the responsibilities collectively for the interest of development of the state. The total own tax revenue increased from rupees 846.43 crores during financial 2018-19 to rupees 1,790 crores in financial year 2024-25. It is my firm belief that the budget of 2025-26, with its new initiatives and increased allocation to the department, will lead to economic transformation of the state. I urge all members to guide and support the government and the department to proactively implement schemes for the benefit of our state, particularly youth and the business community. With these few words, Speaker Sir, I commence the budget for 2025-26 to this August House for consideration and passing. Thank you.